Define my travels as you can, as I see chat is already getting into it right now as we speak. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the GOG community. It is good to see everyone here. It is July 26, 2016, right around 4:05 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. GMT. It's good to see everybody. Welcome to episode 40. That's right, 40 of Pen and Pixels. I am your host, Arvin Elleron. It's a pleasure to have everybody here and to welcome everybody in for our second, on GOG anyway, D&D sessions with the crew, with the GOG stream team. I am looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Before we get there, I want to remind everybody, though, about things you guys need to keep in mind. First of all, if you haven't done so already, please make sure to follow the stream. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you possibly can, because there are awesome emotes and cool stuff that you can get. Plus, the money goes to charity. Plus, you get to be one of the cool kids and all that kind of good stuff. All DRM free, of course. And please make sure to follow us on all our individual channels as well, our various Patreons and individual channel endeavors and stuff like that. We really do appreciate the support here and elsewhere. So it is a pleasure to have everybody here and to welcome everyone to another session of Dungeons and Dragons. I feel like for anyone who saw the 80s cartoon Dungeons and Dragons, like the very end of it, it's like the guy's like, welcome to the world of Dungeons and Dragons. So that's what we're doing. So welcome to that world, people. It's good to see everyone, and I will be with you for the next 3 hours conveying my intrepid group of adventurers. With that said, I am going to unmute myself in Skype so these people know what's going on. And then I am going to unmute them. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Now they are unmuted. And I'm going to move over to the D&D section so you can see them all there. There they all are. Hello, gentlemen. What's going on?
Hello.
What's going on, guys? Good to see everybody.
What up, homie?
We are I'm very pleased to be joined by 4 of us. Sadly, Pyron Jade will not be able to join us today. Pyron Jade is hanging out with her sister because apparently she thinks family is more important than D&D. Whatever, family, right? Who's with me? No, we will definitely have Pyron Jade back next time, but we have the 4 of us here, including a new addition to the group. As you may remember, at the end of last session, Flayos, who had discovered a wolf cub, ended up rescuing that wolf cub after savagely destroying its mother, and in horror and shame, he decided that he would go off and try to find where the wolf cub's pack was, and so he has gone off on his vision quest, his wolf quest, if you will, and has left the rest of the party behind. And what we have now are 4, normally going to be 5 with Pyron. 3 of those people will be together, and the other one is going to be introduced a little bit later on. But I'll start with the rather sick-looking pair to your right on the screen over there, and you can see that is not, oh my god, I named you Gromnir Grumblehammer, and that's not true. Never mind that, you're not actually Gromnir Grumblehammer, that's one of my other people. In fact, you tell me exactly who you are, and I will let them know. That, of course, is our beloved Mega Pie Man PhD. And Pie, who are you playing today?
I am playing as the one and only Justice.
That's right.
And his sword named Dan. Paladins together, leaders of the fight against evil. Even though they were never asked, they will save the world one day.
That is Justice, and Pi, of course, a regular on the of course, on GOG. So everyone say hi to Mega Pi. Good to see you, Pi Man.
Hi, Mega Pi.
And so Justice, the power of justice. All right, that brings us over to the next gentleman, who is the newest addition to the GOG D&D crew, but certainly not a new addition to GOG, of course. And that, of course, is our good friend Screaming Joypad. How you doing, Mike? And tell us a little bit about yourself, your favorite hobbies, and also who you're playing in the game.
So, it's really nice to be on the show this evening. My hobbies, my name is Mike Smith. I'm also known as Screaming Joypad. The character I will be playing this evening is named Ura Ash. I will explain that later. My hobbies include long walks in the forest, hitting things with axes, stroking small animals, looting for gold, drinking beer, fighting evildoers, hitting things with bigger axes, and drinking more beer.
I think there's a lot of nuance. Yeah, there's a lot of nuance there that I think could be really exploited. There's many complications there, but it's going to be fun times. So can I say I'm predicting disaster, Cody? These guys will be great. They survived last time. They were fine. So yes,
you didn't
so welcome
have me with you then.
That's right. It's a whole different thing. Welcome in, Mike. Good to have you as part of the crew. Mike will be introduced at a later point, which you guys will see. That brings us on, of course, to the inimitable and wonderful I think I called you last time the Welsh assassin, but I'll make it alliterate this time. The Welsh winner. And by that, of course, we mean our good friend, Dark Saber. Hi, Saber. How are you, and who are you playing?
I'm doing great, thanks. And tonight I am going to be Celsig Mauer, Halfling Rogue Extraordinaire, and 2 times winner of the Most Poisoned Award, 1990, whatever year this is.
That's true. He's been poisoned several times. I don't know whether to say that you're susceptible to it or resilient because you keep not dying from it. So not
I'm
totally
branching
dying.
out.
Yeah.
If this adventuring gig doesn't work out, I can get a job as a food tester.
I was just going to say, you're going to become a white rat, like is going to be your job. It'll be white rats plus you, just sort of crouched in a cage. Well, it's a pleasure to have you with us as always, and you'll be playing, of course, Celsig Mauer the Rogue, and that leads us on, of course, to the gentleman that you see, who is sitting in his chair, waiting for his moment with his 3-part name, because unlike, some of us can get by with a couple names, like a first and a last name, and some of us have just one name. But then there's others who need multiple names. And so I want to ask how my friend who's feeling the burn is doing. How are you, Matt? What are you playing?
I am just... No, I'm just kidding.
I am Lupus, and I
am, yes, Arthur Lupus Cord. I am a half human, half elf sorcerer. I am quite a reclusive individual. I rarely speak, but when I do, I tend to speak quite profoundly. Plus, I also don't like finishing my sentences. For example.
Very nice, very nice. Clever. Well done. Very cool. All right, so we've got him on board. I just need to find out why I can't find your thing to adjust it. Where the heck are you? There you are.
Careful now.
I want to make sure that I get you centered in the window because, otherwise, it won't match up with your tripartite.
Yeah,
name.
I've been watching the stream and I've been kind of adjusted, and then I figured
I'm
centered on my screen.
I got it. No, I got it. I got to get the tripartite name. So there we go. And then the last, of course, is Greta Guldenfire, played by Pyron Jade. However, Pyron, specifically Greta, actually went off to help Fleos in the first part of his adventure to find the wolf pack and return them. It's a heartwarming tale which will be made into a live-action Disney film several thousand years from now. But in the meantime, we have the 4 people here, and 3 of them who are together. So the way this works, for those of you who don't know, I am, of course, Arvin Elleron. I'm your humble DM for this adventure. Last time, the last couple of sessions, these guys successfully made through the Temple of the Nightbringers. And in fact, they discovered that the mayor of the town, the person that they thought they had been trying to help by seeking out the problems that had been plaguing the town, turned out to be the big bad guy, the person who had been behind the whole business. But they successfully defeated her and brought her to justice. And that leads us to the beginning of this adventure.
What did justice do with that?
Yes. But before we do that, we do have one other thing we have to do, which
literally brought to justice because I threw in a fire.
We brought them to justice, and justice threw them away. That's right. That's exactly right. But what we have to do first is we do these guys have leveled up, and they have leveled to level 2, so they are all now second level. That's right, second level. And in second level, they have all been given various benefits and things like that, which I've done off stream with them. However, what I do want to do on stream with them are the hit point rolls, because I always think this is important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the center area picture, if I can, because I'm going to maximize this window. There we go. I'm going to maximize the window, and I'm going to, so that the stream can see as we begin to do the dice rolling. Because these guys are going to roll live and in person. So the way that the hit points work, as you guys know, is that you're going to roll your hit die, which is different for each class, and you're going to add your Constitution modifier to it. That is going to be your new maximum hit point total. So we're going to start with Pi, and I'm going to double check and make sure your hit die is, wait for it, 1d10. So you are going to roll a 10-sided die and add your Constitution modifier to it, Pi. That's going to be your new maximum hit points. So here we go. Chat, can we get some love? Chat, can we get some love? Can we get some top hit points? Hit point totals for Pi.
Drum roll, please.
Some drum rolls, you know what I'm saying?
D10.
D10 plus your modifier.
Okay, my con modifier is squat. So that's great.
Oh, okay. That's fine. They're just 10.
Cross your fingers. I got a 3! Yay!
All right. So
It's not a one.
it is 3
Terrible.
plus your con modifier.
More
So
one.
that you add that to your maximum level.
It's all 3.
It's 3, and so that means your total maximum hit points are now what?
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What'd you just say?
I asked you for your hit point total now. So your maximum hit points are what now?
How do I? So I just add the 3 to the 10 I had before.
Yeah. Did you have maximum 10? You probably did, right? You had 10 before.
Now they're 13.
13. All
The
right.
best number in the world.
That's a great number. It's
What a
better than
guy.
1.
Yes,
Uncle Elias points out it's better than 1, and it is better
True.
than 1.
Better
I'd say
than
that's
one.
true. Okay. Second, of course, we have our half-orc barbarian. The barbarians roll 10d6 for their hit points. I'm just kidding. That's not true. That's only Conan.
Wait, no, let's go with that.
They roll 1d12 plus your constitution modifier.
Right. So as I've not done my original level, do you want me to do this twice?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Or am I
So,
just doing this the
yes.
one?
So what you should do then is... Well, actually, I want to double check. Celsig and Lupus, I gave you guys maximum hit points at first level or not? Did I?
I had max, yeah.
Okay, so then just do your maximum for, 12, and then you're going to roll your hit die for your second level, Mike.
Roll 1d12.
And do you see that on roll
plus-
20? There's a die, because this is new to Mike too, so we're getting Mike into roll 20 as well. On the left side, you'll see a little d20 sided die. There's a little
Oh, I
mini
see.
bar.
There's a button to do it.
Yeah, and if you click on
I
it,
was just going to type it in.
or you could you could also do that.
No. If there's a button for it, I'm happy with
Listen,
the button.
if you're an odd
Absolute
DOS guy and
fantastic.
if you want to create like extended memory, like format C, that's fine. If you want to
So 1d12.
plus your con modifier. Okay, so that's a 5
I
plus
think I've
your
rolled.
con.
There we are.
You did.
There's a con modifier, which is plus 2.
So
That's
7. So that means you have a total
Yes.
of 19 hit points now at your maximum.
Yeah.
All right. Now that brings us on to Celsig. Celsig, who
Yes.
gets he rolls 1d2. No, I'm just kidding. But not quite as impressive though.
1d2.
Your hit points are actually they're 1d8, so it's not terrible. So you're going to roll an 8-sided die plus your con modifier.
And I'm poisoned. No, I got an 8.
Wow, check you out. All right, 8 plus. You need it. Is this what they're telling you?
Yes. Oh god, yes. That takes me up to 16.
Okay, and
You need it. You're my shield.
your con modifier was 0?
Yeah.
Okay, so 16 HP, meaning that the rogue somehow has more hit points than the Dragonborn Paladin. That's an interesting arrangement. All right, and then last but certainly not least, Lupus. And for you, can't believe I'm calling you Lupus. It's a terrible disease.
It's
for
Arthur. Arthur.
For you, Cordo, Arthur Cordo III. No, I'll call you Arthur. For you, Arthur, your hit dice are
1d6,
1d6, yes, plus your cons. So go ahead and roll
which is
that.
2. Okay, so die. Let's go 1d6 plus 2. Roll it.
That's not bad. That's right in the middle. 5. So 5 added to what you had before is
14.
14. Okay, so I just want to point out that everyone has more hit points than Pi. I just
Yes.
want to point that
So-
out.
Does this mean now that our halfling rogue characters are tank?
No, well, when you meet him, Ura Ash will be your tank. The truth is, though, even though he has more hit points, remember that hit points are kind of an abstract thing in that they often refer to your ability to dodge attacks and be not as affected by attacks. So you could sit there and get pummeled. If Celsig took a shot that you would normally take, he would be annihilated. It's just that he doesn't take the full blow like you would take it. So...
It's like I'm
Justice
the
does
lowest.
not need hit points to stay alive. Justice has the light of righteousness.
And Sharian's correct that paladins
There you
have
go.
a much higher AC
Perfect.
and stuff like that. So
I
it'll
was
be
just
fine.
expecting Pi to turn around and say, "Where is the justice in that?"
Where is the justice? Tell me what's going on. Okay. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. They are in Triboar. I'm going to introduce them to this, and I'm going to bring the players over to this map where they will now see the map of Triboar in front of them.
There's a new map.
There's a new map, and I'm going to show you the
Sorcery.
new map as well. There we go,
What
folks.
map of sorcery be this?
It is Triboar, and let me actually see if I can increase the size. There we go, so people can see a little bit clearer on stream. So there we go. There is Triboar, and gentlemen, are you prepared? Because if so, we are going to get underway.
Is this the town?
Aye, glory awaits.
Is this the town what?
Is this the town we were in before?
It is not, but you actually started your adventure in this town and then went to the village of Merton, which is where all the stuff happened in Temple of the Nightbringers. So this is actually...
We're not going to be returning to Martin.
So you've returned... no. Because you've already... This jumps you forward a little bit. So you've returned, you've gotten your credit, you've gotten your experience, you've trained up a little bit, you've laughed,
Never
you've cried.
saved the pig.
Well, see, the thing is, the pig might have been getting consumed by things already.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, unfortunately.
There was that big party feast that we kind of snuck around.
Lot of bacon.
God, I love bacon.
Lot of bacon.
You aching for some bacon?
So we are now here, and
more
you
bacon,
guys,
bacon.
you guys are currently sitting in an inn called the Triboar Arms, and I'm going to show you guys exactly where that is. That I've just pinged, that little green circle that you guys saw, that is the Triboar Arms, and that is where you guys are sitting as we begin.
Where are the legs?
I can't. I don't know. This is the Triboar torso.
That's another establishment. Don't worry about that.
That's advanced D&D. Okay, you guys don't get the whole thing.
Since we're in the
Very
season
advanced
started,
D&D, if
Exactly.
you
I'm
know what I
sitting
mean.
in the inn with a giant, horrific, and quite obviously fake curly moustache on because reasons.
Because reasons. Exactly.
Hey, ask me about them if you want to know. And this is a role-playing game. I'm not telling.
So
Put in your stash as well with your top hat.
exactly. So you guys have got gold jingling in your purse as you're drinking ale at the Triboar Arms. Good ale, good company, but some are complaining about the music. Speaking of the music, I should unmute the... there we go, a little mountain tavern going on there. The bard is singing about St. Cuthbert again, just like every other bard in Triboar singing about blessed St. Cuthbert. You've heard the story about a dozen times now, how St. Cuthbert single-handedly killed 3 enormous boars, how he founded the town of Triboar as a haven for travelers in the north, how he saved many lives, and so on and so forth. I'm fed up with St. Cuthbert, mutters someone at the table next to you, in general agreement. St. Cuthbert's Day is in 2 weeks. The celebration involves an assembly of the whole town at St. Cuthbert's Memorial, followed by some dull speeches, and then the election. After that, everyone will seemingly forget about St. Cuthbert for another year. You've seen slogans around town, make Triboar great again, St. Cuthbert is for us, feel the Cuthbert. There's been a lot of that going on. You drain your tankard as a rather foppish young man enters the tavern. He comes to your table and gives a short, stiff bow. Friends, you've been summoned by the Lord Protector. Please, follow me. And stares at you.
I hate to ask this question, but what the heck does foppish mean?
Foppish is aristocratic and sort of trying too hard, like wearing clothes that are a little bit too fabulous. You know what I mean? Sort of like, I love this particular wear. It's the sort of thing I've been wearing for the last 6 months. Last month's was, of course, so outdated.
So he's a pompous idiot.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to say to him, it's like we're not really going it. We're enjoying our ales and our gold in our pockets. We'd like to know more about this Lord Protector.
I'm sorry. You mean you don't understand who the Lord Protector is? The person who is in charge of Triboar, the one for whom all great blessings must rain down, at least assuming she wins the election. And someone says, "You got that right, buddy." And some people are like, "Ha ha ha," and they kind of punch each other. And the guy sort of looks, kind of tries to ignore them and sniffs. He's like,
kind of butler.
anyway, the Lord
How does this Lord Protector know of us? I've never met no Lord Protector.
The Lord Protector has heard of your doings in Merton, and is interested in taking some of your skills to her use. I believe you'll find it worth your while to attend me. However, if you do not wish to, well, other arrangements can be made. And does this and snaps his fingers, and you see behind him these 2, like, business end guards sort of, like, step forward, like, no sunglasses, but they've got the sort of same approach with halberds. One of them folds his arm with his halberd crossed across his chest, and they just stare at you.
You may say no sunglasses, but I'm imagining them with sunglasses and earpieces, nonetheless.
Definitely, yes. That was kind of the idea. Jimmy the Fish and Bobby the Squirrel.
Well, Selsig, I mean, it may seem prudent to take them up on their offer purely because you, my friend, probably still have a bit of a debt you need to settle and probably need all the income you can find.
Shh! Don't blab it! Why do you think I'm hearing
What?
incognito?
Your debt? Are you talking about your dad?
And a couple people look
I
over.
tried to
Oi,
hide
this
in my
one's got
mouth.
some debt. I like debt. What do you mean debt? She's my wife, not Deb, you fool. She said debt. And so they're all like, yelling at each other. So there's some arguments starting to happen, and the guy, of course, is just sort of looking at you, starting to tap his foot.
Now, let's not be hasty. I never said no. I just wanted to know how our names came up in conversation. That was all. Being prudent.
Apparently, the Lord Protector felt that you were worth her time. Why she believed this is beyond my understanding, but I do not pretend to know the more deep thinkings of my superiors. I simply follow their orders. I suggest you follow mine so that I don't need to get these gentlemen, and sort of, jerks a head over his shoulder, to seal the deal. Believe me, you'll find this worth your while.
I vote
Well,
we
you
go
said
with
the magic words.
And
I'm already counting the money in my head.
okay,
Justice, Ura?
Justice. Well, Urash is not there yet.
all right.
But Justice is there. So, Justice, you're still standing there or sitting, I assume.
Well,
Don't hold out your hand.
no. I will take. I'll take but a moment to converse with Dan about what he feels about this particular Lord Protector.
Okay.
I am very interested in this offer, but I don't appreciate being bullied around. But if there's a chance to smite some heathens, I may just have to take them up on it.
And he looks at you and says, "Oh, sir, please think of it as an honor escort, worthy of your great worth." And he says worth with the tone that normally is reserved for outhouse, like a great worth type of thing. And sort of looks down and then turns on his heel and starts walking out. And as he walks by, one of them says, "Oi, don't get your pantaloons dirty!" And everyone starts laughing. And he's like, "Filthy peasant," and walks on, walks out of the tavern. And the two guards are still looking at the three of you as, I presume, you stand up and follow?
Well then, gentlemen, shall we?
He's right, nothing gets dirt out of a pantaloon.
And so he pretends to, ignore the remark as best he can. And you guys exit. So the person takes you to the Lord Protector's Tower. And I'll show you guys where that is. It's not actually all that far from the Triboar Arms. I should say, by the way, that Triboar is not a huge, but a relatively decently sized town, which has a very bustling buffaloes too, but it has a bustling center of commerce, which is known as Market Square. But there's lots and lots of taverns. There's like at least 25 taverns and inns, and so you guys are all right with that, right? I mean, there's some
Oh, yeah.
there's a fair amount of that. But there's also the Tower of the Lord Protector, which is right over here, just to the north of Market Square. And it's a tidy 4-story building, which actually overlooks the Market Square. And your escort brings you up and shows you into this rather lavishly furnished office, bows again, and leaves. And seated behind an enormous desk, you recognize, actually, even though you didn't know who the Lord Protector was, you've definitely seen this person about town. And this person rises. She looks weary with a thin-lined face and graying hair. She's a human, and as you come in, she says, "Welcome. I am Cordelia Oldfield. Please, if you would have a seat." Now, you do happen to know, though you didn't know exactly about all the details, that the Lord Protector is elected to this office on a yearly basis, and is elected always on St. Cuthbert's Day. So this essentially is the elected official of the town who points to these 3 chairs that are in front of her.
All right, I will take a seat. I will put it in my inventory.
Awesome. So you just throw it into your backpack. That's great. She kind of gives you an odd look because it doesn't really fit.
How much does the seat weigh?
Yeah, it's a very light seat, probably a good 8 to 10 pounds. And as you pick it up, she sort of gives you an odd look, and then she says, I was considering you might want to sit in the seat, sir."
Oh, don't mind him. He's a little bit mentally disturbed. Let's take a seat, Celsig, and he'll follow suit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys all sit down, except for Pi, who's still holding the chair. I don't know if, except for Justice, I should say. I don't know if Justice also.
It's in my inventory. I just wrote it down on my character sheet. It's
Okay.
in my inventory now.
So you continue to stand. It's a camping chair, exactly.
It is
the
now.
back pocket.
That's exactly right. So she says, so thank you for coming. She says, I heard about your recent exploits in the village of Merton, and I thought you might be able to help me. There have recently been some strange reports from the farms around town. Livestock turning up dead, women and children missing, and as she says this, she sort of kind of lowers her voice and sort of looks at you and almost kind of leans close to you and says, there are people who claim to see a gray man wandering the fields at night. And she sort of looks at you as if expecting you to go, gray man? What? But says what a gray man is.
I put my hand up.
Yes?
Are you behind it? I ask because you heard about Melton, right?
Am I behind it? Oh, do you
I
mean...
would like to take this moment to smack Darksaber's character in the back of the head.
What?
Hopefully his mustache doesn't fall off, or if it does, he's able to quickly grab it and put it back on.
And she sort of looks at you and says, I don't quite follow what you mean. I am hiring you to find out more. In any case, I wouldn't normally pay attention to such things. You must understand that as the Lord Protector, I get all sorts of ridiculous stories across my desk. But the election is in 2 weeks, and these reports are starting to cause quite a stir, if you understand what I mean. And she sort of sits up straight and she says, and looks at you and says, the last thing I need is a October surprise, if you follow what I mean. Here is my offer, 50 gold pieces per person, if you can clear this mystery up. She sort of looks to all of you.
I would like to ask Cordelia Oldfield when the last witnessing of the Grey Man was reported.
Ah, that's an interesting question. Well, the problem is that the last time that we heard about the Grey Man was perhaps only a night or two ago, but there have been rumors about it all over town. I do, however, have one lead, and that is that I know that there is a crop farmer, a man named Dorn Stonewood, who has land to the east of town. His wife and baby went missing several nights ago, and he's moved into the 6 Windows Inn for the time being. He claims that he knows some more information about creatures like this, including the Grey Man. And it's not just the Grey Man, it's these other strange things that are occurring. Somehow they're all tied together, but blast if I can figure out how the connections work. And I don't have time to dot all the I's and cross all the T's. I am too busy attempting to ready myself to lead my people for another year. And you sort of look over and see that there's just like piles of papers on the desk behind. You see parchment like, vote Oldfield, she's the Boldfield, things like this. And Cordelia's not kind of mealy-mouthed, things like that. You think maybe her PR needs some work. But in any case, and she's got pictures of her, sort of drawings of her sort of smiling, sort of looking and that sort of thing. So you
Hey,
can tell
look,
that she's
Justice.
occupied.
More piles of paper you can burn.
So she says, what do you say? I could really use your help.
I'd like to take a moment to ask Ms. Oldfield, Lady Oldfield, if you will, what her positions on the current political agenda are, as to whether or not we would necessarily want Ms. Oldfield to be elected.
Well, I believe that we currently face a difficulty where many people who have lots and lots of, and as she begins to speak, you notice she's slipping into a different kind of accent. She says, many farmers, billionaire farmers and millionaires, have problems that need to be addressed. We must defeat the 1%, and the only way to do that is by getting money out of politics. And that's why and then all of a sudden you feel like she's hunching over, her hair seems to be getting whiter, and she seems to be like, now there seems to be spittle like flecked out of her mouth as she points at you repeatedly, and she wags her finger several times. And then you guys sort of blink, and you see her sort of back smiling at you. And that's what I believe.
Sounds like a huge case.
I lean over to Arthur. Did you see that?
Well, okay, so Celsig, Justice. We're at an advantage here. So she was actually able to give us a lead, thus enabling us to, have a head start of this case before we even have accepted it for the 50 gold pieces each. So knowing that we do have a good lead, that is with Dawn Sturwood, the one whose wife and baby went missing and is currently at the Six Widows Inn, we do have a place to start, a possible witness. And I personally would like to take her up on her offer.
I agree, but I would like an advance. After all, investigations can run up unexpected expenses, if you catch my drift.
Good point. Good point.
So, and you say this out loud for her to hear, or just to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So she looks at you and she says, "Yes, quite understandable, but unfortunately, the way reimbursements work is that one must actually perform the task and then be reimbursed for it. Otherwise, I could be accused of trying to influence the election. And you must understand, the books need to be balanced. We certainly wouldn't want any ties to other places, foreign governments. If, for example, the town right down the street, Busha, if my opponent, Brump, were to be found to have had ties to that place, I could use that against him. Similarly, if it was discovered that I was using my power and influence to affect the election here, well, certain problems could exist. So I must keep everything above board. I'm afraid it can only come after the payment. But I am happy to lend you all assistance that I possibly can through safe escort and making sure the guards don't bother you and things of this sort.
Well then, my lady, I say we do it.
Say that to us first, Justice.
Excellent,
Well,
she
then,
says.
other people who are not the lady.
It's so
Look,
wonderful.
Look, I am personally on the side of justice, but because we do have one member of the party that raised a very valid point, I believe we should leave the final deciding factor up to Selsig, who did have the concern about whether or not we receive an advance.
And
Selsig,
she jumps in and says, "I'm so glad to hear that you approve of justice. I, too, approve of justice. As a concept, as a value, it is extremely important to support justice. And I think without justice, there can be no peace." And she kind of nods at you and sort of grins and kind of, looks at all of you. And, yeah.
There is much truth to this, and since justice is here, in your presence, we shall
Wait,
have
where?
peace.
And she looks around. Where? Justice, where? Where is...
Here.
anytime, Selsig.
I justice. Paladin extraordinaire. This is Dan. It's my sword.
Well, on the one hand, I ain't too thrilled about doing another job on our own dime. On the other hand, I'm not particularly keen on annoying the Lord Protector of a town. I've been there before, it ain't pretty. So I guess, against my better judgment and my wallet, we're gonna have to do it.
It'll be worth it, friend. That 50 gold pieces will make quite a weight in your pocket when all is said and done. And, of course, the weight of justice being done. And she looks, and she smiles, beams beatifically down at Justice.
Can Justice keep the chair? He does seem rather attached to it.
I suppose if he wishes, I can give you the advance of a chair. She kind of has this confused
Thank you,
look
my
on her
lady.
face.
Remind me never to let
I
you
shall
guys
think of you
negotiate again.
every moment I spend sitting upon this lovely seat.
I have to say, by the way, that I do want to point out that the chair as such is going to be extremely bulky. You can, if you wish, break down the chair into its constituent parts and place it into your bag. You can do this if you wish.
I do have a
it.
I do have a question. How many gold pieces did we pick up from the last mission? Because I was not there, and I want to make sure it's in my inventory.
Oh, that's a good question. Does somebody have a note on it? If not, I'll try to find it. Also, what in God's name just happened to your Skype avatar, Pi? Sorry, I just...
Oh, dear.
That's not a new thing. That's been there for a while.
I have got two rubies that I could do with pawning, which would give us some party cash as well. Two.
I'm sorry. I just I thought it would be nice to get a different avatar, so I just made it Popeye the Sailor Scout. It's not that difficult. Just ignore it. It's not canon.
I'm just letting you know that if that's the new outfit that you're dressing in, All right, Dan, go forward. What are you, like some bizarre combination of Miss Marvel and the cheerleader from... anyway. All right, so, so as far as money is concerned, You've actually been able to pawn those gems since then, and you actually have some decent amount of money that sort of came out of this. Once you got all of it together, you discovered essentially that this is also part in the box that stabbed you in the finger and poisoned you, by the way. But in the end, you discovered that each of you ended up having, and this is including Pyron, so each of the three of you have, sadly not you, Arash, because you weren't there, but 100 gold pieces each. And also, those 2 rubies were worth 100 gold pieces each as well.
Plus, I got 2 for myself.
Those were the 2.
So,
How
there was
many rubies
4.
did you have?
I pocketed 2, and then.
Oh, then I'm sorry. The total value is 200, so it's 50 each then, not 100 per. I forgot about your sleight of hand first. Yeah, Popeye the Sailor Moon, Popeye the Sailor Scout. Okay, so all right. So do you wish to break down the chair, or are you actually leaving the chair, or I just want to make sure I know what's going on with the chair?
Here's the question: If I take the chair apart, can I put the chair back together?
I mean, you have no idea until you take it apart.
Just put the chair back, Justice. Just put
I'm
the
not
damn chair
putting it back. I'm keeping it with me. All right. I'm not doing it. You can. I don't care. I don't care how odd this might be.
I know. The
We're
only
keeping
reason
the
you're
chair.
doing this, the only reason you're doing this, Justice, if we end up in a battle and you disagree with what we want to do, you're gonna pull out the chair and just say, "Fine, I'm gonna sit right here and do nothing."
Don't give him ideas.
I have this image
Give it
more
a check.
like I have this more image that you're going to sit down and then when it's required for you to fight, you stand up and go, "All rise, justice presiding," and just walk over and just like, you know.
Or like you
I'm
stand
getting a
up
feeling
and then
that
have to
Gretchen
put
was
the
holding
chair
the party
away.
together.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Anyway, so are you taking the chair with you or not, Pi?
Yes.
Okay. So, are you going to try to break it down?
No.
Okay. So you walk out with the chair. Now I have to say, are you going to like? Yeah, is that what Saber is doing? Is right. You're like holding it in front of you. So are you going to strap it onto your back? Like I just want to
Yes.
make sure I know. Okay. So he straps it onto his back. Please, somebody, in the name of God, give me fan fiction of a dragonborn. Oh no, I'm not even going to look at that picture again, Jedi. You should be ashamed.
Someone with a chair strapped to their
Somebody please give me a picture of a person with a chair strapped to their back. This is needed right now.
I warn the rest of you, although it is upon my back, do not attempt to sit in it.
Yes.
Not even me.
Looking
I'm only
specifically at you, Celsig.
I'd like to say,
Come
I'd like
on,
to say to
Master Blaster,
Celsig,
man.
Yeah.
I'd like to say to Celsig on our way out of this office is like, whatever you do, make sure he stays behind us. Cannot stand to look at that man in his chair anymore.
I was kind of planning on
Barely
saying
a
the
man
idea after
anymore.
last time.
All right. So you guys.
Strap it to your butt, so all you have to do is fall back to sit in it.
Exactly. All right. So
That would be a
you,
stool then.
So you guys exit the Tower of the Lord Protector. Now, from this point forward, you guys have somewhat free reign, because what you have to do is sort of get to the bottom of what is going on. And to do that, you've got a lot of places around here that you can actually discover. You see, if you take a look at that map, that you've got the aforementioned 6 windows in. You've also got the market square, where a lot of stuff happens. As I told you, it's kind of the center of the town in a lot of ways. You've got St. Cuthbert's Memorial. You've got the Shrine of Timora, which is kind of like a church area, a church place. A church, not even a church place, just a church. The reason I say place is that there's some other churches nearby it. So there's basically a lot of stuff that you could explore theoretically, so it's up to you in terms of where you guys want to go and what you'd like to do.
I'm in favour of doing a bit of resupplying before we do anything else, because we don't know what we might stumble accidentally happily into.
I respectfully disagree, Celsig, because I want to talk to the guy at the 6 windows in first to see what we're up against, to know what we're actually going to spend our money stocking up on.
I would be.
I
fine
point down the
with
street to the
supplying.
market square, which is literally half a street away, and go, the market's right there.
It is actually right in front
Here's
of the
the
tower.
question. Here's the question for our very missing rogue person here. Do you count resupplying in buying new items or in just picking pockets?
Which would you be more okay with?
The one that isn't illegal? Probably.
Then shopping it shall be.
So let me get this straight. Your plan, Celsig, is to want to go to the market and potentially shoplift based on Justice's advice.
Nobody said shoplifting. Justice said shoplifting. I
Okay,
made no such
but-
insinuation, and I resent that.
Okay, but we're restocking on something when we don't even know the details of the mission at hand. Okay, let's say
But
you
if
restock it
if you wish, the two of us could go to the market, and I'll keep an eye on our little sticky-fingered dude here. And the other you could go check out the guy at the inn, and then we will meet back at, say, high noon. And
you'll have another
Go on.
chair on your back, most likely.
well, I have to now because you said something.
Is that possible, Greg, for us to split up?
I mean, listen, splitting the party, as many Dungeons & Dragons players will know, is always such a highly, highly recommended thing to do. So many things work out in your favor when you split the party and reduce your potential power collectively.
Look, if
All right,
there's
well,
going to be
Entirely
trouble
possible. No,
this town,
in all
we're
seriousness, you
probably
can
gonna
if you
die
wish.
anyway.
Yes,
So
you can if you wish, for sure.
Out of character, I'm only really after to resupply my oil, but you know.
Okay. So if it's on the way, if the market is on the way to the Six Windows Inn, and all you need to do is restock your oil, then we'll go there quickly, restock your oil, and then move on to the inn and ask the questions.
do you think it would be inappropriate for me to ask what happened to the seventh window?
At the Six Windows Inn.
I just looked blankly at Justice.
Well, now that we left the chairless tower, Pie Man.
The taxpayers are paying for this, you know. I realize.
All
right.
Okay, let's go to the market and pick up oil for Celsig.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
I'm not going to do shenanigans.
All right, so the market square for this. First of all, let's get rid of our Mountain Tavern music, and instead I give you the medieval town.
Should I unmute the music?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you want to hear some cool stuff.
Okay.
Where's my music volume
And-
slider?
There we go.
How do I? Oh,
Lovely.
here it is.
All right, so
Ambient music's lovely.
so here we go. So you guys entered the square. Now the market square is always very, very busy. It's always bustling. There are stalls set up, people calling out, wares, whether it's fruit or weapons or
Chairs.
chairs, like anything you could possibly want, furniture related or otherwise, often can be found in the market square. As you are sort of around there, you see lots of people sort of, passing you by, sort of pushing around and getting past you. As you're sort of moving through the crowded market square, you suddenly run into a problem. I would like each of you, except for Rush, to make a dexterity check for me, please. So you're gonna roll.
Okay.
You're gonna roll a 20-sided die, and
I
you're
do have a
going
question,
to add your dexterity. Give me 1 second. You're gonna add your
Sorry.
dexterity modifier to it, and then tell me what that number is. Yes, bye.
I have a question. Whatever happened to Dawn? What's her face? 'Cause
The ranger, she
Yeah.
went with Fleos and with Pyron to try to help find this wolf pack.
she had my dagger, and I need to know if.
No, you got that back. She gave it back to you
Okay.
before doing that. Yeah.
I just wanted. I knew this would happen. Trouble.
much is-
Run into trouble.
How much does a dagger weigh?
Okay. Good night, Onoski.
I
A
don't have
dagger.
this horrible feeling I'm about to lose my gold.
Probably. I'm trying to think of what the weight would be. A couple pounds at most. Would not be heavy.
I'll put it at like 1.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay. Do I have to worry about being over encumbered and unable to run?
Only if you're doing stuff that's like I'll tell you right now, if you try to get into a tight space, I'm going to be bringing up the fact that you have a large chair strapped to your back. But under other
It's
circumstances,
charely a problem.
Yes, it's charely a problem. Well, you see it the way it is. No, but I will tell you about that if need be. But other than that, encumbrance comes about when you try to do something. Like, for example, when you guys were talking about Celsig wanted to loot that big onyx statue in the temple, which was like, 7 feet tall and 500 pounds. No, that's not going to happen. So it's basically a common sense sort of
I just need to
consideration.
make sure if I need to worry about my carrying capacity.
No, I think you're okay for right now. When you start getting larger things, I will start taking account of it. But you do want to mark down what you have. So, all right. So where are we? Yes. So anyway, we are. You were in the area. So dexterity check. What did I get from people?
I got 9.
Got 9.
I have
15.
to ask you how to roll dexterity.
So
I'm
that's
so
a-
sorry.
That's a 20.
I'm
It's okay.
so sorry.
You're rolling a 20-sided die, and you're going to add your dexterity modifier. You know how to do the roll in roll 20, right? The top,
Okay.
the left side is the die there.
Add your modifier before
Yeah.
changing.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
I
quit
just need to know
stooling.
what's that
Stalling.
used
Yeah, cute.
Stooling.
Well done. Stop
Can't
being an
do
armchair quarterback. Okay. So as Celsig is moving, you suddenly see Celsig. You don't just see a stall of oil. You see the stall of oil. Like every conceivable oil, like from top to bottom, you see this stand. There's like larger vials, smaller vials. There looks like there might be a vat of oil. And you see above odd words, astonishing oils and ungiments. And you sort of see it and you're like, wow. And you're so amazed that you start almost being drawn towards it like, oh, right? And then you feel yourself bang into something. Urash, you have got your cart that you're standing next to when suddenly a halfling plows into the side of your cart and knocks it over. And apples pour out all over the ground.
Oh, not again! Halfman, watch where you're going!
Sorry?
It's the third time someone's done this today. I pick the cart up.
I look behind me to see how my two loyal party members have kept up with me.
I was more fascinated with the fact that you were drawn to like the 20-gallon tub of lube.
I didn't want to say anything, but that's the first thing that I thought of when you were talking about that.
I turned to Ura because I was almost immediately behind Darksaber, wondering what he was looking at. I turned to him and I said, "You'll have to excuse my friend. He seems to be completely enchanted by all the oils. You see, we're on our way to the Six Windows Inn." When he wanted to make a quick stop off to stock up on his oil, and obviously,
yes, enough of that. At least you can do is buy some apples from me so I can get out of this godforsaken cursed town.
I'm pretty hungry.
I start piling apples back onto the cart because there's a lot of apples and I don't want to be here any longer than I have to. So I'm now basically just scooping apples up with my arms. There's like rocks and small animals in there as well, but I'm just throwing them back onto the cart.
You notice, by the way, that this is a big guy. He looks to be orcish in descent, probably half orcish, but he's a big dude. He's bigger than you, actually, Justice. And as he's sort of taking armfuls of these apples and other various assorted things and dumping them into the cart, you notice that he seems to be doing so with relative ease. Like, it's just like, 50 apples, no problem. 30 apples, no problem. Multiple skulls of mysterious animals, no problem. He's just dumping them in the cart with no difficulty at all.
I would like to ask, how much for them all? It's the least we could do.
I thought you were going to offer your chair.
Day.
Wait, does it cost a chair?
So did I.
we haven't even been paid for our mission yet, and you're offering to pay him everything we've got for apples.
I didn't say
I'll listen to
everything
you,
we've
large
got.
man.
I asked how much they would be. I didn't say I was going to necessarily buy them all yet.
Why did you trade your chair for some of them?
No.
All I want
My
is what
chair.
I was promised. 35 gold pieces. That was the price we paid. That was the price we agreed on. That lecherous little... he abandoned me and gave me this. And I motioned towards the now slightly broken cart because you get the impression I've been sort of trundling it around a little bit because the wheels look a bit knackered and like the handles are a bit squashed where I've been holding it, and now there's like a dozen or so squashed apples on top of it.
Yep.
And everything just looks a bit
All right. I
So
hate
what-
to ask this question, Arv, but I completely was not paying attention when you're talking about money. How much money did
50 gold pieces per person is what the
So
offer
we got
on the
we got
table.
50 per person. That means if I spend 30
You don't have
buying-
it yet, though. I want to point out you do not have it. You don't have it in your possession.
Okay, you
thought
want
we
to
got
spend a lot of money
that
without asking a question. I want to know who this lecherous person is. He just mentioned he is owed
Doesn't matter
35
who
gold
he is.
pieces.
You guys were overly rude to this random gentleman, and now we have to pay the price, quite literally.
While everyone's distracted, I tried to sneak an apple off the cart.
I don't know. I don't even think I noticed. I don't think I care.
I noticed this and decide to strategically place my position between the two of them so that he doesn't see Celsig at the same time as I nudge Celsig and I nudge Justice and say, well, can I please interrupt here and ask a question? To whom are you referring, this lecherous individual who owes you 35 gold pieces, and why?
Aye. So, a few nights ago, I came into town. I'm looking for work and glory and wondrous items of gold. A small halfling, similar to you there, half-man, asked me to be his bodyguard as he went about his nightly duties. I was with him basically all night, and then when the night had passed and he'd done whatever he needed to do, I didn't ask too many questions, he ran off, told me he was an apple seller, and said he was leaving town, but I could keep the cart. And now I'm penniless, I have no food, I have no provisions, and I need to get out of this cursed town immediately.
Well, technically you do have food because you have apples.
I look at Justice really confused. You can't eat apples, it's a plant. It's not made of meat.
You're selling inedible apples. I see the issue.
I look frankly at Ura,
I would like to make a deal with Ura Ash, but first I would like to whisper to Justice and Celsig first. It's like, he's an extremely tough guy. He has a lot of strength and can obviously carry a lot of items. Possibly Pie's chair for him. But
nobody takes the chair.
But
okay.
we don't have any money to give him now. Well, technically we do, but I don't want to give him money now because I want to see exactly if he's worth it. I'm whispering to you already.
You're whispering.
Shush.
You're whispering.
It's just a reaction. Money.
I'm just. I see.
Why don't
I
we
see you
promise
guys have
him-
sort of gone off. I'm like going, apples, sell apples. You there, buy an apple. You buy me.
You notice
buy
he's
my
not being
apple.
very successful. Like so he's standing there, and everyone else is like, "What for sale? What's?" He's like, "Apple, buy apple. This, you, apple. You want an apple?
Buy this apple.
Buy this apple.
Give
Sorry.
me some gold.
On you go.
I think we found someone worse at negotiation than us.
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Others.
think we can cut him in. I think we can cut him in on our deal. I think we can give him a cut of our money. Now we need to decide whether or not we try and deceive him by saying that we are about to embark on a journey for an X amount of gold, which is actually smaller than what we're receiving, or we be honest with him and split it in precisely 4 ways rather than 3 ways.
Are you saying you would rather have a rather large man who we don't know anything about, who is attempting to throw apples at people in hopes they throw one back, to join our party?
For no cost at all, and if we succeed, we get gold and we can trust him. It's a foolproof plan.
I know we're kidding, Justice. He's not going to be the least competent person in the team.
Was there
I
high-fiving
don't
back then in this
appreciate
era?
that.
Was there high-fiving in this era?
Sure.
Do you
High
doubt,
forearming.
do you doubt my particular abilities? Do we
I
need
said-
to prove
I just think
ourselves
it's hard
here?
to take seriously a man with a chair currently strapped to his back. I'm just saying.
Bring up the chair one more time, and I will break it upon your face.
50 per person. Okay, so as Sharon pointed out, okay, that's a recap. It's 50 per person. Now, if we split that then 4 ways, now let me just pull out my abacus here.
Maybe we should ask him if he's even interested first.
She did
Well, yeah,
say
but-
we would be
buy this
reimbursed.
apple.
She didn't say anything about us not being able to bring in who we need, which means she would also be, by her own word, having to reimburse him, which means we should, in theory, get the same share.
I have this image of you guys bringing back 500 people with you. Like, we got it. You're like, say 50 per bite. Just bankrupts the town. Like,
That'll be $3 million.
It's like hosting the Olympics. It's like, well, I remember once we were a great town, and then, sorry.
And it puts her in the position of having to tell someone who is quite a bit bigger than you, Justice, that he can't have his rightful share.
Well, we already have 4. There's you, me, Dan. That would be at least 5 ways we'd have to split it then.
Okay, so are we all in
Yeah.
agreement that we are going to consider bringing him on our party? If we are, then we might as well bridge the
One
idea.
stipulation.
Well,
Yes.
what does he do
Before we
besides
bring him
throw
in-
apples?
Before we bring him in, I would like to test his mettle in an arm wrestling competition.
Yes.
Really?
I would like
Really?
to know what sort of abilities he could possibly bring.
Well, you've already got a chair you can sit down at. You might as well do
Arthur,
it.
Arthur, bet you a gold he wins.
That's if you guys
Okay,
want to do that,
okay.
you can go talk to him. I mean, it's,
I'm still like, please go, just
Okay,
buy
so-
my apples, please.
Okay, I will turn around. Okay, so I will turn around to Ura and say, my friends and I have agreed that to let you in on a quest that we are about to embark on, that we are actually going to be reimbursed for, and we would like you to join our party. We see you as a valuable asset to our party, and at the same time, you may be handsomely rewarded for the work you do for us. Now, I know you're a bit on edge because the last time this happened, you got royally screwed and had to sell apples. But there's 3 of us here, and to prove that we are honest people, I would like you to have an arm wrestling contest.
wow. You notice, by the way, as this discussion happens, there's a couple of people in the market who are starting to, kind of look in your direction, kind of interested, not annoyed, just sort of looking curiously.
So
I tug on my
let me
fake
get this straight.
moustache.
Let me get this straight, colourfully dressed gentlemen. Basically, you don't have any money now, and do you know what is your quest? What are you doing?
We have been paid. We can't give away too much information, but we have been hired by a very powerful person to solve the mystery of the Grey Man, which you probably no doubt have heard if you've been in this town the last few days. If you help us solve the mystery.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is true, by the way, Urash, that you have heard some people whispering about this thing popping up. You don't know any specifics yet. You haven't been paying that much attention. You've been too worried about apples, but you have heard some disturbances in the market about it.
It's one of the reasons that the small lecherous halfling asked me to guard him during his night watch.
Yep, exactly.
Well, then it's your opportunity to get back and get to the bottom of this. And you may find this lecherous halfling throughout the quest. If he has something to do with the Grey Man, then you may find it within your best interest to join us on this pursuit and get to the bottom of this. So it may help you in the long run too. We have not been paid yet, but we will get paid if we are successful. So anything you can add to our party would be greatly appreciated and beneficial.
We are down a big lad since our last guy ran off to do something with a wolf. I never really was clear on the details.
Let's not go too far in the details. It's kind of weird.
Also, I was poisoned.
I look between the 3 gentlemen in front of me,
Gentlemen
kind
is a
of
strong word.
almost gauging them up. So I look back at Arthur. So no gold now, adventure, potentially rid the town of a nameless evil. Would you say?
Yes.
I have no food with me. That's my one condition. I'd need feeding.
But
I point at the apples and just open my mouth and then just sigh.
have you ever eaten an apple?
It's a plant. You don't eat plants. God, what are you people going on about?
I hear the food is great at the 6 Windows Inn.
Then you have
We are
a
on our
deal.
way there.
I'll be with you until your quest is ended. If I'm stuck with another fruit cart, I will hunt you down. You mentioned an arm wrestling contest.
I accept your challenge.
Right, I sweep
Justice
all of the
leaps
apples
forward, presumably.
and the pulped
I
apples
start
off
yelling,
of the off of the cart.
wrestle!
Okay. All right. So you do that, and people start to gather around you, sort of with interest.
Okay.
I will dramatically spin the chair off of my back, place it next to the cart, and sit down ready.
Before we
Surely
start,
that needs a dex roll.
I'd like to call out to everyone in the marketplace. I'll call out everyone, ladies and gentlemen of this fair town. You're about to witness something amazing. Our newest friend Ura Ash here has been challenged by our quest member Justice for an arm wrestle. Everyone, if you would like to direct your bets to my bookie, Mr. Selsig over here. Direct your bets to our bookie here. Who will win?
So
And the winner takes... Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
So,
No.
so you do that, and so immediately you hear dead silence. Like, so everyone stops for a minute, and they kind of look in your direction. And then you hear what sounds like kind of a sighing sound. And looking up, you see at the 4th level of the tower, which again is right next to the market, you see the Lord Protector looking down at you with this confused expression on her face. And then everything sort of starts up again, and some people start to gather around you, Celsig, and they start giving you sheets, taking back sheets.
Could we quickly wave at the Lord Protector as she's looking down upon us?
She kind
do
of
I
like
actually have to know how betting works for this? Because I
Give her a thumbs up.
right.
We know what we're
I lean in real
doing.
quick. Do you know her?
Kind of.
Does anyone truly know the Lord Protector? Really? Who can say that amongst
Well,
us?
we know her well enough that we have her
Wise
chair.
words, Halfman.
So
Wise words.
Okay. All right. So you do that, and you sort of and people start to gather around you, Celsig. You begin to start taking a bunch of betting slips and things like that, and you start making change because people give you these betting slips, but they give you they sort of throw different coins at you. You start throwing coins back. It becomes very confusing in terms of who's got what. At one point, you've got what looks like sort of a sack filled of money, which is sort of partly your money, partly everyone else's money. You've got a bunch. So you're sitting there with the sack. There's a bunch of papers loose. Some of them are blowing off into the crowd and things like this. And everyone's just kind of staring. And you hear people sort of waiting. And now the crowd is starting to get the energy is starting to get ramped up as Justice is waiting there and Urash is there as well. So are you, assuming you are ready, Urash and Justice, the way this is going to work it is going to be some opposed strength checks. So, you are going to start, Urash, and you will roll a 20. You'll add your strength modifier to it on roll 20.
Are we ready? Are we ready for this?
Nice.
19.
All right. So you start out, okay? Justice, you do the same thing. You're rolling a 20-sided, adding your strength bonus.
Here we go. Are you all ready to watch this majesticness happen right now?
Yes.
What is my strength bonus?
Come on.
With your strength bonus.
Come on, you mighty metal man.
Here we go. By the power of Grayskull! Yes!
So you're like, "Huh!" And it's not quite the scene from The Fly where the guy breaks the arm across the tail. One of the most disturbing scenes ever done in any movie. But no, it's not quite that bad.
Goldblum was in that.
But you're oh, and so Urash has got you now at basically a third of the way over. All right, second check. So now second check. Urash has the advantage on you, not actual advantage in dice terms, but the advantage on you. So now both of you strength checks again.
The exact same
D20
thing?
plus
Same
strength.
thing.
All right.
Here we go. A 10.
All right.
Okay. I shall close my eyes.
Wow. So you summon the power of your god. You're like, "Whoa!" And you go back up. Urash, you were
By
amazed.
the power of the Justice and Paladins!
Yeah, I mean,
I bring you.
You see the surprise in my face.
Yeah,
that
no,
someone with as little dexterity because they're wearing so much metal on their body is able to lever my arm back.
yeah. So you're back up to normal. Okay, another check, guys. So you're like, oh, sweat beginning to bead on both of your faces, and people around now
Turn
are
my hat
starting
around
to.
backwards.
Celsig, people start throwing more betting slips at you. You hear the names Justice and Urash, but you don't really know what that means because they're just yelling them at you randomly. People are in the back now.
Okay, here's mine.
Oh.
22.
Oh.
Okay. It's a half. Sharian, it's a half orc barbarian, not a Goliath barbarian.
Yes, half orc barbarian.
Oh, so you guys are like, "Huh, huh, huh." You start to hear the Star Trek combat music. In fact, I should get the music up there. All right.
Fight we've had so far.
Let's get some music here.
There's creaks and cracks from the cart underneath where we are.
That's exactly right. The cart
Underneath
slides
our
back.
elbows.
Somewhere you see someone is crunching on an apple as they watch you. There's more and more things going around. You hear people like high-fiving each other. And by the way, chat, I want to say that this is a good chance for you guys to get involved also. I think you should start placing some bets on who you think has got this covered. Ghibli puts 3 gold in the Barbarian, so let's do it up.
Boyos.
All right, here we go. Next round, gentlemen.
Okay, here we go. Oh, this is tense. 13.
Whoa.
Okay.
Oh.
So again, Urash, drawing upon your ancestors, you're like, "Grrr!" And Justice. You feel Justice waning slightly as you feel you're like, ow, and people start to yell, and you hear people you hear the slow chant of, oh, rush, oh, rush. Oh, rush. And some people are yelling at each other, sort of, arguing with each other. Now there's a good crowd, at least 50 people or so. A lot of the market is ground to a halt. People are all gathering around you. Okay, next one.
Okay, here goes. 10.
Before I make my roll, I would like to say to the challenger, I don't know what it is.
You're the challenger.
This is
Yeah.
a well-mapped battle, regardless of who wins or loses. I appreciate that. Good arm wrestle. Such
Is this the last
might
roll?
count.
Oh, Jedi, that's brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Are we best friends now?
I hope this doesn't get
Yeah.
muted, this part of the VOD, but I have to play this part
13.
for those of you listening on the stream. Oh, God. All right, that's as much as I can do without it getting muted. I love it. I love it.
13.
That's awesome.
Okay, so
All right, so you have a
Bit
so you have
ahead.
a 13. You had a 10. You have a 13. So you managed to pull yourself like pull yourself back up, and now people are starting to chant the name of Justice, and so there's this Rush Justice, Rush Justice coming from alternate sides. You see some guards starting to wander over with interest, right? People are starting to get more and more excited. All right, on you go.
Okay, here goes.
Oh, Urash, suddenly.
Another
Slipped on an apple.
You sort of slip a little bit on a soft apple. You sort of like, go ahead, man. Oh my God, what? You both critically failed? How is that even possible?
Well, they both lost an arm.
So yeah, you guys both do this.
Chair from under both of them.
So what happens is
The
Urash
cart
is like,
just implodes.
Urash is like this. He's like, whoa, but then Justice is like, whoa, so now people are like confused. Now they're like, oh, you hear someone yell out, apple! I put 5 on the apple! Like, Chelsea, you see people like throwing them at you.
I take that bet.
All right, next round. We do have to have a couple people win a couple in a row here.
Okay,
so let's see what we get
There
here.
goes. There goes.
It's only a matter of time.
9. Not great.
Their heads-
7.
Well.
Okay.
Not by much.
9 and
There
7.
goes.
Okay, so you managed
Yep.
to slightly you start to bear him back down. Justice, you feel again, Justice, the light of justice seems to be failing you. You must fight back.
The light of justice never fails a paladin.
Okay. Let's see if that's true. With your next throw.
Okay, my character's got a real sort of workout going on.
Yeah,
He's got proper
yeah.
sweat on.
You see
Okay,
the
let's go.
muscles are beaded, the sweat is beaded on the muscles.
Veins bulging out of his forehead, that
Yep.
sort of thing. I'm properly gritting my underbite, that sort of stuff.
Hey, Deroyne, what's
Okay,
up, man?
here goes. 15.
All right, you're
Nice.
like,
Big money, big money, big money.
oh my gosh! He pulls it back to center. He will not yield. Every time you think you have him, Mirage, he goes right back up to the middle. At this point now, you've got a lot of people, and there's loud chants like, and then so in the background, you hear like someone in the background starts to play like a horn, and it sounds like like da 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 da, and people are jumping
Every
around like.
ballad's written about this day.
Celsig at this point is pretty much almost buried underneath a shower of coins and paper. Like you can just see his
I'm
hand
living
like
the dream.
trying to reach over the top of it, right? All right, go ahead again.
He's just like, no refunds, all bets are final. Oh, all right, here goes. 7.
Ooh, midway, that's halfway. 10!
Oh.
10. Oh, now Justice
Right,
has
that's
the
it.
upper hand, literally.
Yeah.
He pushes you back over. Now you feel like Justice. Now the chants start to get louder, and you hear Dragonborn, Dragonborn, right? And then you hear one person's back. I always said dragons were better than orcs. Shut up, you! You hear like this little a fist fight breaks out back in the crowd somewhere.
At this point, I tried to slip away into the crowd.
Well, you'd like to
With
do
your
that, but
sack
you're
of
buried
gold.
under about 600 coins. So right now you can't. You don't have a sack. You have a pile, is what you have.
Yeah, do a deception check.
Yeah, I mean. All right, another one, guys. Let's see what we have.
All right, here goes. Oh, seven
Seven.
again. Oh, come on.
I have to hand it to you. This is getting interesting.
Very nice. I see what you did there.
15!
Oh, so Justice has Urash. Your hand is just inches from defeat. You're just like and everyone's like, the crowd gets loud. All of a sudden, Celtic people are screaming at you and like ripping coins out of your hands, throwing other coins at you, giving you papers. People are sort of cheering in the streets. In the distance, a baby cries. A woman's like, ah! Like there's just the random sounds, like a raven calls as it flies over the crowd.
It's the most glorious day in Triboar history.
Can you whisper me for a sec? The better way to do it, Renzo, would be to send me a Twitch PM, because if you whisper me, it'll show up on chat. So, yeah. All right, here we go. Chat, can Urash survive, or will justice prevail? What do you think, chat? Is this about justice or this Urash? Who will win this titanic struggle?
I just want rid of these goddamn apples. These apples have been the bane of my existence for 3 days. Okay, here goes. Against the giant metal man with a chair on his back.
Oh, 21.
That'll be interesting.
Oh, man.
Oh, not enough, not enough. He holds himself up. He's like, ah, he pulls it back up to like 2/3. He's like, I'm still in the. No, Justice still has the advantage over you. He still has the advantage, but you have avoided destruction. So the apple will win. Yeah. All right, here we go. So one more time, guys. Urash is slightly recovered, but he's still in the disadvantageous position.
Here we go. 18.
Yeah. Oh, it's too, he's like, oh, no, he will not be resisted. He still holds back.
More
At this
wood
point,
creaking.
you
more
see,
apple
yeah, I was just going to say that.
slippage.
You hear the chair is beginning to creak alarmingly. And you see that the cart actually is kind of like, you hear this like along the side. And people at this point are like delirious. Like people are like cheering, screaming, jumping up and down.
This is not the best show you have ever seen in your entire life, ladies and gentlemen.
They're all high-fiving each other. Celsig at this point can't
Just
even
waiting
be
for
seen.
one of
You
us to go
just-
Super Saiyan. At
You just
this
see
point.
Celsig's hand.
Don't go to the market, you said. There'll be trouble, you said.
All right,
We're
go
not
ahead.
finished yet.
Go ahead, guys. Go ahead. The cart loses.
here we
Yeah,
go.
the cart is the
Here we go.
loser.
Oh, 9.
Oh yeah. So Justice has you down again within one spot of destruction. Can you channel your ancestors? Can you channel your barbarian heritage? Everything you see is that sweat pouring over him mixed with surprise. Justice's serene, zen-like, dragonborn paladin-style face. Dan sitting behind him as you await. The noise is overwhelming. All right. Here we go. Let's see
Okay,
what
this
happens.
is it. It's now or never. I let out a low, guttural growl as I'm staring directly at this metal giant in front of me. And I roll a 7.
Oh, no.
You're like, oh, and when Justice drops him down, a huge shower of apples goes up all over the crowd. People are like slow-mo. Apples hit people in the face. Everyone's just like, a great roar goes out. Half the crowd, you see people ripping like, papers and everything and throwing them in the air. Other people cheering. Some people like smack you on the back, Justice. Urash, people are like, I knew you couldn't trust a half-orc. Celsig, you actually can't feel anything because you're buried under more coins. Now everyone grabs some of the coins from you. It's absolute chaos. Just like complete chaos.
Okay. In the midst of the chaos, to try and calm everyone down, because I have a plan here. I have a hand plan here, so... Ladies and gentlemen, for you are equally blessed. I have the pride, the privilege, nay, the pleasure of introducing you to a man sired by knights. A man who can trace his lineage back beyond Charlemagne. I first met him on a mountain nearby, praying to God, asking his forgiveness for the saccharine blood split by his sword. Next, he amazed me still further when we saved a featherless beauty from the would-be ravishing of dreadful Turkish uncle. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you have come here to witness the gallant exploits of an honorable man and our new friend, Uro Ash. We are about to engage, nay, embark on an amazing, perilous quest for you, the community. I ask you, support us, be with us, and be behind us.
So you deliver this
start
speech.
applauding.
You deliver this speech, and so you hear this one person next to you do the, like the slow clap, and everyone else who would have been amazed by that speech were so loud as they're beating each other up, they heard absolutely zero. They're all like right around each other, but the one person next to you is like, "That's amazing. Where do I see more? Who is this Urash you speak of?" And you see it's just a human, like a regular human with a farmer, like just a tunic, and it's kind of like, "I would love to meet this Urash and join and travel with you." Right? Still clapping.
I was
the whole
kind of
time.
hoping that we would be able to sell our party and actually take some donations here.
So when all is said and done, you finally find that the music sort of dies down, and almost as quickly as it came, you might say. And as you guys sort of look around yourself, you are stunned to find that, Celsig, you are lying on the ground with a few spare bits of paper and a few coins here and there scattered on your person. And Urash, you are pulling yourself from where you landed face down in the apples. And you're looking up, and there's Justice sort of smiling and nodding and waving at the now completely abandoned and dissipated crowd, while the one human in front of you is like still clapping the same way that they did before in front of you.
I put my hand out to Justice, and I'm just like, yes, okay, I'll follow you.
I would accept and say welcome to the team.
Okay. The man who continues to clap for a while longer, and then he eventually says, "That was amazing. I wish I could follow you, but I'm afraid I got problems of my own. You see, my name's Travis Quickmore. I'm a dairy farmer, and there's been problems in my farm. I wish I could join you, but probably the missus would be upset. Oh, but I wish I could join you on your adventures and become one with a group of you and go with, what was your name? Your Rash? Red Rash? Rashi? Orash. Yeah,
Just
you.
call me Ura.
You're really impressive, even though you just lost. I still thought it was impressive, though. And he makes it sound so good, and he points at you, Arthur. He's like, everything he said just made it sound so good, but I can't join you. It wouldn't be right. Not with what's been going on lately.
What has been going on lately? Could you fill us in for information? We're in the market for information.
Oh.
Literally,
Well,
we're in the market.
Oh, well, you see, about a week ago, sir, I was woken by a strange sound. Well, it's sort of like an animal, but sort of not. And when I went out, I saw a grey figure on the edge of my field, about 100 yards away. Oh, I was frozen with fear, as you might imagine. I'm not as brave as one of the two of you are. And after a few moments, the creature moved on and was soon out of sight. And he's sort of looking at all of you, and he sort of nods furiously, and he says, all the trouble began when that priest, Father Longfellow, he started meddling with that old graveyard. That's when it all went downhill. But not that you want to bother yourselves with that, sirs. In any case, I should be getting back to my stand. Lord knows what's left of it, but it was worth it to see that incredible battle. And you, sir, and he turns to you, Arthur, and he says, that was inspirational. You should say stuff like that more. Maybe next time more people will hear it. And he looks at you and he gives you another clap on the back, doing it, sounding the same way, rhythmically, like clap, 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 clap. And then he moves off through what's left of the dissipating crowd.
It's very well have a fine day, dairy farmer.
By the way, Urash, your apples are utterly smashed at this point from the foot traffic and everything else. So it's just a mess of sort of apple just remains, basically.
Somebody get a glass, we'll sell it as juice.
There's a lot of applesauce. A lot of applesauce.
I count
Maybe
how
that's
much I
cinnamon
may
that you
have
see in the
made from
applesauce.
betting.
Maybe that's cinnamon. Sure, Celsic. How much did you have to begin with, by the way?
My gold.
Yeah.
About 200.
Okay. So as you count through it, and you're like, oh, you're gathering all this stuff together, and you look like when you gather all of it together, you end up with just about 200.
Typical. Oh no!
It was looking so good. There must have been
literally the same.
800 coins, and then you lost a lot of it. People took a lot, but you managed to hold on to some, and yeah.
So he made
I've got
200 out of that.
No, I think I ended up with exactly what I started with.
They're not the same coins though. Like you feel like they're different coins. They're a different amount of
So
200.
basically, we laundered our money.
You laundered 200
That's exactly
coins.
right. No one will ever trace it now.
I would like to punch him in the shoulder laughing and say, enough for your oil.
Well,
That's what this all started up.
Yeah.
See, my logic here was to hopefully, if we had any winnings for the victor here, seeing as Justice was so sad for the fact that poor Ura was out of pocket for the apples, he could give his winnings to Ura.
Right.
At
So
the same time, we could pick up donations from the crowd. But of course, no one heard me, and we picked up another mission. But we did get a lead.
I do want to
Yeah.
point out, though, that as you were doing that, of course, Urash now sees, as Celsig is counting through it, the large amount of money that he already has sitting in his pack. I just want to point that out.
I never said I was broke to him.
Right.
That is true, actually. They never said that.
Yes.
I just
We said he
require
would get
food. The
Hey,
workout
wait,
is hungry.
you were
Justice
complaining.
given some rations.
You were complaining about not wanting to buy 35 cost for the apples and crap, and yet you've got like 200 stuff to buy with.
I never said I didn't want to buy the apples.
Oh, you people!
All right. There
We
is.
managed to get him on board without having to pay for the apples. Let's not tell him how much we spend. Let's tell you how much we saved.
You know, when you buy in bulk today, the oil
Out of
stand.
character, to be fair, if he does need gold for equipment or anything, I don't mind chipping in for it.
And there are some basic play. I should say, by the way, if there's anything you guys lack that you want that's in terms of basic equipment, you do have in basic equipment. Like, there's most of the stuff you could get here. There's not magical equipment to be found, but you could definitely get most basic sort of weapons and armor and equipment. There's definitely the oil. If you want oil, you can get flasks of oil, Celsig. And by the way, I don't know how many you want, but they are a silver piece each. So
Okay, I'll
you
go
could get a few
for
flasks of them.
4. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
get 4 flasks.
Okay.
So that's 4 silver. Okay, mark that off.
You cannot get ye flask.
Get you flask. Oh god. So you're able to do that. So if any of the rest of you want to get sort of basic equipment, you can. But otherwise, you get the oil, and then you're good to go wherever you want to head next.
Can I ask for some gold to buy some rations? Or some food? Because my character's been trying to sell these
Yeah.
apples for like 3 days. And has been penniless for just as long.
I sort of inwardly sigh and go, how much do you need there, big guy? You put on a hell of a show, and no good show goes unrewarded.
Good strong meal costs a gold, maybe?
So rations typically would cost 1 days of rations is about 5 silver pieces.
Yeah.
Okay. I flick him a gold coin then.
Can I ask the
Hey,
DM what happened to Justice's chair in amidst all of this?
Amazingly, and it's sort of stunning to you, but the chair remains somewhat pristine. The cart is kind of in a bad shape. The apples are smashed, but the chair remains, as if untouched, having magically passed through this experience.
I like that Arthur's just developing a rivalry with a chair now.
It's a mimic chair, yeah. Exactly. We talked about the mimic thing quite a
Everything
bit.
else on 4 legs has attacked us so far.
Indeed. Exactly. All right.
Get it?
So-
Because it's a chair with 4 legs. It could be an office chair. You never know. It could have wheels on it too.
Could have wheels, yeah. So are you
Yeah.
putting it back on? Are you hooking it back up?
I'm not leaving it there if you're asking me that.
Okay. So back up it goes. And now are you guys heading out of the market, having bought what you wish to buy?
I don't think I need to.
I'm
What's our
fine myself, but
ration
yeah.
looking at? How's our rations holding
So
up?
you have enough. I mean, you basically have not gotten a lot of extra rations because you've been sort of in town, more or less, going from place to place. If you go outside of town, you'll want to buy rations. But you have, basically a couple, more or less 2 days worth on each of you at the moment. So.
At the moment, it says I have 10 in my inventory, so I guess we should buy until it matches that, so I don't have to change the number. Because
Right. You actually probably that 10 is actually a little bit outdated. You did some days of travel beforehand, so probably, Justice, you'd have closer to 4 or 5 at this point because you did have to travel here and travel to the temple when you're back in Merton and so on.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm just going to say that I'm going to. I have 10 gold, and I'm going to attempt to buy up to 10.
You should
rations.
have more than that because the rubies were 50 each, weren't they? So that's a
Well,
100
I
split
said
between the party.
I said that I missed out when you guys talked about money, and then everyone we moved on to
Yeah.
arm wrestling. So
Yeah, things did get carried away.
The glorious arm wrestling. Could someone just remind me real quick, how does the exchange rate work in Forgotten Realms?
I was
Is it-
just wondering about that myself. I got to go find it again. I forget how many is what. But I'll.
I want to say
figure it
it's
out.
10 to 1, isn't it? It's
There's
like
an
10 silver is a
rate?
gold.
Yeah, like how
Yeah,
many
10
silver
10
equals one
coppers
gold.
is a silver.
Oh.
I think it's quite simple. I think
I
it's.
thought you were
10
talking
10 coppers
about
for
like
silver,
from
silver for
Canadian
gold.
dollars to euros.
No,
That
that's
kind of-
Yeah, I like to go on tangents every now and then.
that exchange rate is 5 apologies for 2 Brexits pie. So that's all that is. Heyo. Let's see. Too soon. All right. Let's see.
out.
Coins. Why the devil do it? It is 10 to 1, right? Okay. Yeah, it
Okay,
is 10 to 1.
cool.
So it's 10 silver for a gold, 10 gold for a platinum, 10 platinum for or no, 10 gold for an electrum, I think, and then 10 electrum for a platinum, and then that's, I don't know if we have higher than that. 10 platinum
Gold,
for an
electrum
unobtainium or something at the high level of it. Okay. 1 plat, 10 gold, 100 silver, 1,000 copper. Oh, that's what it is. I'm sorry.
Oh, the decimal point moves.
1
That was
plat,
it.
10
Yeah,
gold,
yeah.
100 silver, 1,000 copper. That's right. Thank you,
Yeah,
Sharian.
cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Samani, can we keep it to English, please, in here? Because we want everybody to be able to participate. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to just quickly nip off, buy basically a small pack of rations for... Did you say 1 day's worth of rations is 5 silver?
That's correct. Yep.
I'll buy like 2 weeks worth of rations or something like that. And also stop by a store where someone is selling meat on a stick or some sort of animal leg that's been cooked. And I'm eating that as we walk.
Okay. So, so it's like you're walking along, like most people eat funnel cakes, but you're eating like, rat on a stick. or
Half
whatever
a
it is.
boar, basically. It's like,
Okay. This is part of it. Okay. Sounds good. You guys are headed to the, did you say you're headed to the 6 Windows Inn?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we had a thing we were doing.
We had a thing we were doing. By the way,
Of course.
we are halfway through the session already, so I want to stop for just a moment and say to everybody that I hope you guys are enjoying this. This is a lot of fun for me always. My name is Arvin Elleron. This is episode 40 of Pen and Pixels, which is my weekly show on GOG focused on story and narrative. I am joined by the 4 at the moment, normally 5, intrepid adventurers of Justice, played by Megapyman PhD, Urash, played by Screaming Joypad / Mike, Cel Sigmar, played by Darksaber, and Arthur Lupus Corday III, Esquire JD, played by Chrono Wolf. And of course, normally we have Greta Guldenfire, played by Pyron Jade as well. We try to do this once a month, although hopefully I'll be able to eventually convince them to go to twice a month, we'll see, in playing this session and doing this campaign. We are currently playing Terror at Triboar, and if you like what you see in here, please make sure to follow the stream. Please support the channel by subscribing to it, and please check us all out individually. Follow, support our Patreons and subs and all that kind of stuff on our individual places as well. Last thing I want to mention, because I didn't before, Matt at the very end there, Chrono Wolf there, of course, is also the soundtrack composer for the Icarus game and the Icarus audio dramatization, and the video effects guy who is doing a kinetic novel version of Icarus, my graphic novel. You'll see Moobot pop something up about that periodically, and that would be awesome if you guys want to follow that up, because we're excited about the attention that's been paid to Icarus, and we would love to have you guys get involved, since Matt and I both did that. Last thing, I swear, sorry, but I wanted to mention that if you guys enjoyed this, I also do D&D on my own channel, and in October. My next novel is called Greyshade. It is the first of a trilogy. It's coming out from the Ed Greenwood group, the Ed Greenwood who made the Forgotten Realms, aforementioned Forgotten Realms, and that's coming out on September 30th. Ed Greenwood will be doing a special D&D event on my channel on October 1st, in which he will be DMing for myself and fellow authors. This is the second time that he will have done this. The first time was last year. It was awesome. It was fanboy-rific for me, and I'm going to get a chance to do it again. So it'll be a special October 1st release. Check out the book. Please buy it type of thing on my channel. So if you like all that, if that sounds good, please follow the stream. All right. Sorry about that self-promotion, gentlemen, but let's move on. So you guys,
you've let me know that stream's happening. I'm going to look out for it now.
yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Ed is the DM is really cool. So,
Yeah.
all right, let's move on to the 6 windows. Assuming that's where you guys are going, I believe you're going to 6 windows. Okay.
Do we still need to go to there since we've already got information from this other guy?
Well, yes, we do, because we need the primary piece of information, and that is Dawn Sternwood, whose wife and baby went missing, and he is also a witness currently at the 6 Windows Inn.
Yeah, but if we follow the other lead, then we'll if they'll both go to the same place, we'll eventually find the other one with the other one.
My inner Tex Murphy is tingling. Justice, can we just get as many leads as we possibly can before
I'm on
deciding to
board now.
engage in something we know nothing about?
Arthur speaks a lot of sense, Justice. I gotta say, he's won me over.
Well, if you would like, you could go follow that lead, while we go follow the other lead, and then we meet together and rally our information.
Up to you guys.
Ura Ash,
Yeah.
Ash, you
What say you, Rashi?
you're the latest member of our party. You do have a say in this quartet.
I say we stick together. The colourful man makes sense. I motion to Arthur, assuming he's the leader because he was making the most noise earlier.
I'll take it.
I would like to make a motion as to why he gets to be in charge.
I'm not saying he is in
Is
charge.
this a
I'm
formal
saying I
parliamentary
assume he's in
motion?
charge. I originally
My vote goes
assumed
for
that you
Dan
were in
as
charge.
our leader,
Justice.
personally.
My vote
I
goes
thought we was
for
more
chair.
an autonomous collective.
Precisely.
You're fooling yourself. Sorry.
What
I
hologram-
I respectfully correct Ura Ash that we are a party that there is no particular leader. We all follow each other's lead.
Which is why we go in circles a lot.
Yeah, precisely.
Highly efficient.
Okay,
right.
well, with that in mind, I think we will proceed to the 6 Windows Inn.
Okay. So you guys proceed down, and if you take a look again at Roll20, you will see that the 6 Windows Inn is actually on the southwestern side of town, right about there. So you have to trace your way. This is not that big a town, though, so it doesn't take that long to get there. And when you arrive, you see a 2-story building with a sign on the outside that has, you count them to make sure, 6 windows on them, sort of facing
I was
outwards.
literally just about to say that I was going to count.
Yeah, 6 windows. You see the 6 windows on the sign.
You're getting too wise to me here.
You see those. You see all 6 windows, and then it says in parentheses 6, like just to make sure. No, I made that up. It doesn't do that, but it does. It does show 6 windows. And when you enter into the inn, causing me to immediately change the music accordingly. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this, and let's put on this. Okay. As you enter, here's my sound. As you guys enter, the door opens, and this is a much, much different sort of scene than the Triboar Arms was. The Triboar Arms was very, very busy. Lots of people sort of... This is much quieter. In fact, you'd almost be tempted to say that it's sort of... I don't know, depressing? I mean, the area, it just feels sort of oddly quiet. First of all, there's not that many people in here. And just a couple of people, one person over by a very low, unimpressive, non-cheery looking fire. And then you see a couple of other people that are sort of chatting with each other, and occasionally they look over their mugs at you with dark looks. There's 3 of them there. And then you see just sort of one man kind of sitting by himself, looking around, and then there's a pretty barmaid with blonde hair who is sort of moving from table to table, but this is not a ray of sunshine type of thing, right? I mean, she just sort of, serves everyone. Everyone just seems to be down here. And you guys are just sort of standing at the door, and she finally comes over and she says, "Hello, gentlemen. Anywhere you'd like to sit?" and then she wanders off to the bar.
I look for a window seat.
This looks like a nobleman's tavern. I don't think we should stay here too long.
So there are, in fact, a number of windows that you think might be. You see some might be sort of light that's kind of filtering down from the top floor, down some stairs. But there don't seem to be a lot of windows down on this ground floor. In fact, you don't really see any windows on this ground floor.
I would like to ask the barmaid if she has heard of someone coming by the name of Stonewood, I believe is his name.
And she sort of thinks about it, and she's like, "Oh, yes, sir, Don Stonewood. Yeah, terrible thing what's happened to his family. I can get him for you if you like. I think he's upstairs."
Yes, please.
So she kind of bustles upstairs, or really more ascends depressedly, and then gets up to the top, and then comes down again. And behind her is a young man who looks gaunt and pale and dark-eyed. And you see as he comes down that he's doing this thing where he's sort of like obsessively kind of wringing his hands as he sees you, and he says, "Yes, you were looking for me?"
Yes, we have been sent here by Cordelia Oldfield. We heard that your wife and baby went missing recently and suspect it may have something to do with this grey man who's been wandering the fields of this town at night. We are here to help and would like to know as much information as you can provide us.
Oh, yes, it's a terrible thing. Perhaps we should sit down?
I will promptly take the chair off my back, sit upon it.
Okay, so you just immediately plop a chair, blang, like right at the bottom of the stairs, and you sit down, and he kind of gives you this confused look. He's like, I meant it at a table. There's tables.
Okay. I motion we go to a table and sit down.
Yeah, follow.
I'll order drinks. The man clearly looks like he needs a drink.
I will second that motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just get ales for everyone.
Okay, so you do so. The ales are about 3 copper a mug, so you get it's about 12 copper, and it's not very good. It's watered down for one thing, like it's pretty weak. You would guess that this thing might have been alcohol several distillations ago, but at the moment it's kind of like alcohol flavored water, really. But nonetheless, you pass it around, and he's as you sort of sit there, he's sort of there over his mug, and as he's about to tell his story, I would like Arthur and Celsig to make perception checks for me, please.
Perception. Okay.
And a perception check here, Mike, so you know, is where they're going to roll. They're going to add their perception skill number to the roll, and they'll compare it to a number of my design and choosing, which I will not tell them.
Well, which die is it again?
20-sided.
20.
Almost
okay, got it.
almost always 20-sided. Not always, but on
Got it,
damage
got it,
rolls
got it.
it's not. But
Do.
okay, so Saber, you're like, God damn, was this ever alcohol? Like, it's just flavoring maybe. Like I can't, so you're very occupied. But
Instant alcohol, just add water.
Exactly. Arthur, you notice that the 3 men that I mentioned before, the 3 figures in the table, continue to look at you, sort of, talking to each other. And at a certain point, they all stand up, and you see them go over to the door of the inn, and they kind of stare back at you guys for a minute before exiting. All 3 of them. Okay, meanwhile, back at the table, Dorn finally sort of looks around. He says, well, it's like this. 3 nights ago, I was away from home visiting a friend. When I returned the next morning, I found our little cottage had been knocked flat, and my darling Kelsey and my little babe were missing. She was just born only a few weeks ago, and I should never have left them alone, and they may be gone forever. And he sort of lowers his head next to his mug, kind of slumps over.
Tragic.
Was there any evidence as to what happened to them? Anything left behind? Any fingerprints? Hair follicles?
He looks up and he says, hair follicles?
Never mind. There's any evidence at all.
Suddenly you hear in the background, ding ding, like the Law and Order sound, and you're like, aha. No, that's not what happens. So he looks up at you and he says, I don't know, but whatever did it must have been strong. It wasn't no storm. I had some people tell me maybe it was a tornado or a whirlwind, but ain't no tornado or whirlwinds that do what this did. And besides, I didn't find their bodies. I mean, maybe they're still alive, maybe. And there's sort of, he leaps over and he kind of leans over again. You can tell he's trying to hold back sobs.
Do you remember seeing anything after the destruction? Did you bear witness to anything in the surrounding environment?
And he says, well, no, sir. When I was looking around, I mostly was just looking for them. I went and looked. There's a little stand of trees, right nearby, as you might say. But I looked all in and around, and there was nothing else. And other than that, it's just kind of by itself, sir. I mean, I could take you to it if you wish. I could show you the house.
Yes, that would be fantastic. Do you know of anyone who may be an enemy of yours? Anyone who would like to see harm come to you or your family members?
No, sir. I never done nothing to no one. I'm just a farmer, sir. I just try to do the best I can with my family. My Kelsey was so beautiful, and now she's not there anymore, and my child. And he kind of, he weeps. And the barmaid at this point walks over, and the barmaid sort of puts down a glass and sort of pats him, on the shoulder sympathetically. And she whispers to you, Selsig. She says, he's been like this for a day at least since he came in. The poor man. And then she wanders off again. Sorry, go ahead, Arash.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to lean in. I just wanted to go. I've only been here a few days, and I know that there's a lot of strange things going on in this town. People have said noticing figures in the night and whatnot. Did you notice anything like that near your house before this happened?
Oh, you're talking about what folks call the Gray Man?
Perhaps, yeah.
I don't know, sir. I heard people talking, rumors, people saying, well, they saw this thing come out of the shadows, but I just assumed it wasn't anything real. I just figured it was the ale talking, you understand? But now, you think the Gray Man took my wonderful Kelsey and the babe?
We're
Did you see
investigating the possibility.
Anything that could maybe make you fear for your kin?
And he says, I don't know. I ain't seen nothing myself. If I had never left, this never would have happened. Maybe they could have killed me. I'd rather be dead anyway.
When was the last time you spoke to a character by the name of Father Longfellow?
Father Longfellow? And he kind of lifts up and he looks at you. He says, I don't know him very well. He's the priest at the Timora's shrine up there, but I don't know anything about him. I didn't think to go anywhere. I came back and the Lord Protector told me to come here and they would investigate. And I'd like to think so, but the Lord Protector hasn't said anything to me. I've been here 3 days and no one says anything to me. I think they all think she's dead already.
Well, I don't think anyone
saying stuff to you.
I don't think that's the case, but be aware that the Lord Protector is who sent us here, so you are not alone.
Oh.
You need not feel abandoned.
Oh, you think there's a chance maybe we might find them, sir?
We don't know.
They're alive. We'll find them and bring them back.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't have much money, but you'd have my gratitude forever. I can't even tell you. Can I show you my house right now then? I could bring you there right now and show it to you. He seems like very animated.
It sounds like a starting point to me. What do you chaps think?
Very well.
I think we should go and look.
Justice?
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
Okay.
It's decided.
All right. So
I will not
Democracy.
I will not bring up the chance that we could split the party up and you go look at the house. I'm not going to do that.
I was actually just unsure whether we should, but we can always maybe come back.
I do want to say, by the way, that
blank.
I'm sorry. I wanted to say that as far as the splitting the party thing is concerned, jokes aside, it is true that generally splitting the party is not a good idea. However, I will say that it is not always an evil, and I can certainly handle it if you guys make the decision to do it. I ran the other day a for the first time ever, a 3-level combat where I had people fighting on 3 levels of a castle. That was interesting. Not something that I expect to have happen a lot, but it is possible to do it. The general idea, though, is that when you split the party, parties are balanced with each other. You take that away, you obviously have some negatives there, but that doesn't mean you can't ever do it. So I just wanted to, in case anyone was like, never split the party because Arv will destroy you. I mean, like, it depends. So that's all.
The reason why I was thinking about it was, I mean, we're just in a town. We're not in a dungeon.
Yeah.
If we're in a dungeon, then I would think differently. Where we're just walking around a town.
Yeah,
In this
I'm just
specific
letting you
case,
know.
I
I'm not
think it's
trying to direct
possible.
you one way or the other. I'm just letting you know.
I'm not opposed to maybe 2 people going to the shrine while 2 people investigate the farm. I mean, knock on wood, what's the worst that can happen?
Spontaneous arm wrestle in the middle of the marketplace. That's what can
Yeah,
happen.
Yeah.
You can get poisoned again.
Well, I'm personally in favour of going to the farm, but if like people want to go and investigate the suspicious priest person, then I don't know.
I say we stick together and go to the farm. Maybe we'll find more information to question the suspicious priest person with.
That makes sense.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Dirty Sharts, this is, yeah, exactly. It's 5e, it's Forgotten Realms, and this is the adventure called Terror at Triboar. I do want to give a shout out, by the way, to the writer of this adventure, M.T. Black. This is the guy, and it's actually a trilogy of adventures, who wrote the first one, Temple of the Nightbringers, and this is technically a sort of a sequel called Terror at Triboar, but this is actually good. I got this for $1.50 on the DM's Guild, which I recommend. If you go there, you can get lots of different adventures and stuff like that. So it's cool. It's a kind of a fun little adventure that they put together. So with so many ways to die. I mean, with so much to find that could succeed for you. Okay,
So
so
many
you
ways
guys
to
are.
pie.
Yes, exactly. So where are you guys headed? You guys are. I'm sorry. You said some of you were going someplace. Where are you going?
We're all
I think
headed
we're all-
to the
yeah.
house.
to the farm, okay, or to the house.
Yeah.
All right, so so Dorn's cottage, which I think may be on here. Let me see if it here, a few hundred feet east of town. Yes, so I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that this it's a little bit farther than this. So more or less, like, it's not on this map, but somewhere over here, not too far off to the side, is the house. It's a pretty, what looks like was a tiny cottage, and they're not joking. It has been knocked flat. The walls have been sort of knocked inwards, and they're not all like knocked flat as if like a tornado did it, but like something bashed and sort of ripped this thing apart. Now the walls are not completely, like, they're not in pieces and shards and things like that, but the walls are sort of fallen and lying on the ground, and again, it was not much more than a shack, but the shack has been eliminated basically as a standing concern. And he says, as you get there, Dorn says, "Here it is, sir. What's left of it, anyway?"
Okay.
When you
Well
guys are-
then, you really weren't kidding. Yeesh.
Can we do a perception check to see what to investigate?
you
Yes,
can
it's going to be
cer-
I was
activate
actually-
detective mode.
You certainly
I was
can
actually
do
going to
that.
specifically investigate the wreck
Yes.
rather than perception.
So I will allow you guys to either do a perception or an investigation check. I'll permit either
Oh,
one.
yes.
Now,
Okay.
perception, so you know, Mike, perception, you should have the skill on there. That's based on your wisdom. Investigation is based on intelligence. So this, sometimes you'll get an option for these two choices, and you can decide which one you want to do. As I see, suddenly it's gotten very dark in my room, so let me turn on the light.
I'm going to go ahead and roll investigation then. Ooh.
All right. I'll do investigation as well.
Lovely. Okay. More like it. So
Arthur's like, yep, it's flat.
yeah, Arthur, you're like, gentlemen, this is definitely a cottage. There's no question there was a cottage on this very spot. You say.
My deductive powers tells me the culprit is no longer on the premises.
Whatever did this is not here.
He turns
So-
around to Dawn and he's like, "You used to live here, didn't you?"
Yeah, Dorn's like, yes, I did.
Wow.
So, okay, so Saber, you were doing, I'm sorry, intelligence or perception? You were
Investigation, which
you're
is
doing investigation.
intelligence.
Okay. So, you, as you're sort of looking around, Celsig, you actually notice that on a few of the walls and on the door are some sharp claw marks. There's no question that there are claw marks on the door and the walls. Now, The claws, you're not necessarily an expert on claws, although you could try to, pull some information from yourself to discover if you know more about them. But definitely these are things that, from what you can tell, this was definitely done by some creature of some kind that knocked these things down. The claws are not like, they're not like 12 feet, wide and high, but they are definitely, they're pretty deeply grooved into the wood, pretty sharp.
Okay. I guess maybe we can do a check against nature to see if I recognize it, or would it be more animal handling?
So let's see. So if you were to check that, I would give it nature. Let's say nature for this.
Okay. Well, see if something in my adventures correlates with what I'm looking at. 5.
Not really. I mean, the only thing you would say is that most animals, when they have these sort of claw marks, it's not usual that they would sort of get inside and then start clawing the walls and the door, in your experience. I mean, it seems odd that an animal would do this. Like, if they broke in, they would break in and then they would eat something and then they would leave. But not that they would continue to scratch. And there's scratch marks in a lot of places here. The other thing is that they are on the outside. Okay. So the claw marks are on the outside of the walls and the door, but there's a lot of them, as if whatever it was trying to get in for a while before it succeeded, and then took out its rage on whatever was left.
Okay. So I turn to the party and say, well, there's very definite evidence that something was clawing at this for quite some time. I sort of point at the various claw marks to back up my statement.
But was what was clawing at it, would it have had the strength to completely flatten it? That's another thing. I mean, clawing is one thing, completely flattening is another.
I turn to, is it Dawn? Sorry, the farmer that we're with?
Yes, Dorn, yep.
Dawn. I turn to Dawn. Have you had much trouble with wild animals lately?
Oh, no, sir. I mean, a wolf once in a while, maybe, or occasionally a coyote I've seen, but nothing serious. There was that one goblin that came a couple of years ago that some people said was preying on some merchants, but they tracked him down. We haven't really had trouble with anything for a long time. This is a pretty busy town, sir, but most of the time people are going in it and then leaving it again, if you follow what I mean.
I see.
Hmm.
Is there anything else that can be discerned from the house outside of just claw marks?
Possibly. Depends on what you would like to try to discern.
I would like to discern anything.
But no. No. I need something specific.
Tell me all the clues roll?
I need something specific. In other words, I need you to tell me, like, what exactly are you looking for? What sorts of things are you looking for?
I would like to try and discern from what direction the blast that hit the house came from.
Doesn't look like a blast. It looks like something pulled this down wall by wall. Doesn't look like it doesn't look like everything came from one direction. The walls, for one thing, are basically crumbled on top of each other. There's actually a little bit of one wall still standing, and they're all sort of fallen inwards, but not blown in the same direction as you might expect if a spell had hit it or something like that.
I'd like to look if there's any blood or remains from any creature, whether it be human or animal.
Make a perception check for me. Also, I heard a can I, and if you guys want, by the way, you can also assist with each other's checks on some of these things. Like if you want to help him look for something, you could do that. Go ahead, Arash, what do you want to do?
I would like to assist.
I was just going to start picking up pieces of debris, like the larger piece of debris, to see if there's anything useful underneath it.
Okay.
Actually about to suggest either Justice or Rashi do that.
Okay, so Urash, what I'm going to do is...
I would like to assist.
So, all right. So let me start with what you guys were doing. So Arthur, you're looking for basically blood, debris, things that are sort of leading from the outside. Justice, you're going to assist him. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to make a perception check for me, Arthur. And
I just did 18.
18. Okay. Justice, I'm going to ask you to add your perception bonus to that. While you're doing that, you guys, Urash and Celsic, are going to do the same thing, except you're going to be doing an investigation check rather than perception. So Urash, you're going to be doing investigation.
Perception bonus or proficiency bonus?
Perception. There should be an actual number next to your perception. There should be a perception thing.
I don't see anything that says perception.
There should be like on skill.
Under proficiencies.
Let
where it says skills, and you'll have like a plus number, minus number.
Okay. I have a 4. No,
Okay.
that's persuasion. No, I have a -1.
You're like, maybe try like this. Huh. No, what you can do is actually make a roll. So you're gonna make a roll yourself, but you'll apply the -1 to it, Pi. So you're gonna do 20-sided, but subtract 1.
Not bad for a -1.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite good.
All right. So we've got that. And meanwhile, Urash and Selsig, what did you guys get? So you got a 15, Mike?
No, sorry, that was a
destroyed.
misclick. Sorry, I apologize.
Okay.
I misclicked
8.
by accident. So we're doing perception checks. Is that correct?
Right. No, you are doing an investigation check. So you're gonna. That's
Investigation
intelligence.
check.
That's
Thank you.
intelligence based.
Minus
So
1.
20 minus the intelligence, and then Selsig, you're gonna add that, such as it is.
Yeah, that's mine.
So you're like,
So-
so you pick up the debris, and you're like, you pick it up, but you have some, you kind of keep dropping the first piece. So you're like, you pick up 3 and then drop 2. It's reminding you very unpleasantly of the Apple experience. And you're like, so you pick them all up. Selsig, you're like, wait, you think you see something, and it's actually another piece of wood debris. So as you guys are doing that, Arthur and Justice, you think that you might have found on the outside, there's a little bit of sort of shallowish kind of mud dirt, you might say, and there's a very clear track which seems to be of a sort of smallish boot that is facing away from the house and the front door.
Is it gray?
It is dirt colored.
A boot. All right.
Mud
I would
colored.
like to try. I know this is kind of like very macabre of me and very distrusting of me, but I would like to coax our friend. What's his name? Dorn.
Dorn.
I would like to coax our friend to come and stand with me nearby to where the boot print is, so I could have a word with him. And then when he leaves, I would like to then compare the 2 prints for size.
Okay. All right. So you do that, and when you do that, you notice that his boot is considerably larger.
Okay.
Doesn't even look like clearly not the same print. Hello, Michael.
First rule of investigation: rule out the closest people first.
Unless it is a boot mimic, in which case, unless you guys are screwed.
I would like to do something similar with the rest of the party, just to roll all of us out to make sure.
I've been
Well,
with
I
you
think-
the whole time.
It was
think
pie.
it's
There's
not-
4 chair foot marks.
Right, the
It's
track is actually of
smaller
4
boot mark
legs.
than a villager. It's not going to be yours, is it? Let's be honest. It might be
Okay,
Celsius, but
Hey,
You can never be too
small
careful,
feet,
all right?
man. Small feet.
Is there any way that we can measure this boot print and gather as much information for future comparison's sake?
Well,
I will
as
actually put my
CSI.
foot down for a comparison to see if it is actually halfling sized.
it fits perfect. No, I'm just kidding. It's not the case. It does not fit
This is
perfectly.
stitch up.
No, it doesn't. It actually is larger. You think human-sized, but it might be the boot of perhaps a female. And as you're looking at it, you notice that there is another boot mark that is some distance away, and a good distance, as if someone were, not just walking from place to place. The steps are farther apart than that. And you notice that it actually goes around the corner of what was at one point the house, and then turns to the north, this set of prints.
I would like to ask my group members if they remember the Lord Protector wearing boots. Or
I like
seeing
it.
With mud on them.
in her office.
Can you do that,
don't know if I can do that
DM?
afterwards.
Can you actually try and recall events from
Sure.
a previous encounter?
Sure, you can. And if it's something that you don't remember off the top of your head, sometimes they'll allow it as a skill check. In this case, though, you never actually saw her feet. So you don't know what she was wearing. She never actually came out from behind the table. She was just standing up in front, behind the table, and then down the table. So.
Convenient.
Very nice,
I would
Jedi.
like to go back
I
to
would-
the town.
Very
and-
nice.
No, I'm just kidding.
and say, confess. Where's the boot? Where is it?
I'll take
So,
another chair.
Where's the boot mimic?
I would like to with everyone else. If everyone else is in agreement, I'd like to follow the path in which the boots are taking.
It's a step in the right direction.
Okay.
Bottoms.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so
Watch
you
your
follow
step.
it. You follow it north, and it seems you notice that the steps are sort of at first in one direction, then over time they kind of waver a little bit, and it's a long way before finally you notice that there's a couple. There's like they sort of come together, and then at one point there is a large sort of imprint on the ground, basically. So there's like a larger imprint that's not a boot imprint, but like something fell here, and then you see more boot prints again to the north that are closer together. And finally, you come to a sort of small little stand of what is like trees, bushes, things like that. And if all of you are there, I believe you all are, I would like you to make a perception check, please.
Okie dokie.
Perception.
Crit!
Wow. Not only did you get it, but also the crit, like you like, you know, definitively like.
Definitely a door.
Are there 6 windows?
Okay, let's see. All right. So what do we get for numbers there? Sorry, beg your pardon.
15 for myself. Celsig was 23. Ura was 11, and Justice was 7.
All right, so Justice, you hear only the blowing of the wind. Urash, you hear the same thing, and then you also hear like a squishing sound. As you look over, you see it's kind of Justice, kind of like tramping through the mud a little bit. And then Saber, and what did you get for yourself? I'm sorry.
15.
15. So you think you hear it, but you absolutely hear it. You absolutely hear it, Celsig, and you hear this.
Hmm.
I hate hearing that. I've played too many video games.
That means there's a jump scare coming up. Is what that means.
In Dead Space, that means shoot the tentacles.
Dead
we
Space
can't
means
hear
it's
it,
gonna
so-
explode.
We're just like, oh, nature.
Very, very definitely someone crying. Can I discern what direction?
Yes, it's coming from pretty close in front of you, probably about 20 feet in front of you. There is this sort of thicket, and you hear what you are hearing.
Celsig, I say we should hightail it in that direction.
Yeah.
Is Dawn?
I was
Is
going to
Dawn
say
still with
stealth,
us?
but you know we haven't got time for that. It could be.
Dorn is
time
back at the
critical.
house.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
So-
like,
Did we leave anybody to keep an eye on Dorn?
how are
Nope.
we gonna keep an eye on Dorn?
I'll just
To make
walk
sure
forwards
nothing
towards the
comes
crying.
back and kills him.
Okay.
Yeah.
While these guys argue, I'll just walk forwards.
Meat shield forward.
As you guys
I'll fall
as
in
you get
behind him.
closer, you see there's a thicket of brush and bushes, and you see what looks like it might be rustling in front of you.
Cattle rustling?
Yes, wrestling. No, it's rustling.
I would say
Can I-
if you have a
can I-
crying child, maybe a big half orc sticking his face in might not calm him down or her down.
I'm here to help.
I say we send the halfling in doing a bit of a jig.
He does have the highest amount of hit points now.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
Come on, Celsig,
Yeah.
you're good with little
Okay.
children. Go in there and calm him down.
Okay. So
But they love you.
I want to look around first because it might be a trap.
Okay. So go ahead and make a perception check for me, please.
Okay. Oh,
Sure.
botch.
So you're like, well, I had the wrong thing up. There we go. Yeah, you're like, as you look forward, you're like, I think, no, it's true. There's a bush. There's a bush right here. Here, don't you see it? You madmen! There's a thicket right in front of us.
The bushes are alive. Leg it.
God
Yeah.
damn it! Enough of this. I will march forwards whilst you guys stare at the trees. There is a baby in trouble.
All right.
All right. We will advance together.
Yeah.
Inside the
Bravely
thicket,
as a group.
you get close to the thicket, and you see that there's this one set of smaller bushes that are definitely look like they're rustling or trembling or something like that.
Can we call out and let whoever let whoever in there know that they're safe and we don't mean them any harm?
Sure.
I'll creep towards the bushes while he does that.
How do you do it, Arthur?
Okay, well, I just like to call out that it's okay, you can come out. We are friends of Dorn. If you know Dorn, you will know that we are friends and we mean you no harm. Please come out if you can.
You don't get anything. You just hear the crying. By the way, everybody now can hear this crying, which definitely sounds like a very young child or a baby.
Okay.
All right,
I
Selsig.
can't take it anymore, and I just go to the bush and part them.
Inside the bush, you see lying on the ground a petite woman with dark hair. Her face is scratched and torn and dirty. Her eyes are open and staring. She doesn't look dead. She looks like, but she looks like she might be perhaps in deep shock. And on top of her, sort of wailing for the dead, is a small child, very small, maybe only a couple of months old, crying.
I immediately turn to the party and go, someone get Dawn right now.
Okay.
Justice.
Sure, I shall go do that.
Okay, so
In the meantime, go on.
Yeah. No, go ahead. So Justice, you go off to get Dorn, but this is a good ways away. This is like a half a mile, you would guess, from the cottage. This is a good way. So go ahead, Arthur.
It's not serious. I was just going to say, use my shocking grasp to wake her up.
Wow. Really? Yeah, woman is in shock.
Clear.
Use my shocking grasp. You want shock? Take this. Yeah.
No, I kid. No, while Justice is going to check it out, I would like to investigate closer exactly her condition, why she is stunned, and whether or not she is revivable.
She looks
I
as if...
nudge Selsig.
Okay.
I nudge Selsig to say, babies don't normally like our kind. Maybe you should see if you can calm the baby down.
God. I'm terrible with children. Okay. I approach with my hands up slowly so as not to scare them any more than they are.
Okay.
I'm talking calmly the whole time. We're here to help. My friend has gone to get Dawn.
Make a charisma check for me, please. So you're going to roll 20 and you're going to add your charisma modifier to it.
-1. Okay. 6.
So you're
Wow,
like,
I have more charisma than you.
you're like it's fine. It's totally fine. And then you're like for example this, and you're like, we'll be fine. Fine. And then like your mustache goes crooked for a second, and the child is like, ah, like, you know, it's like, well, like incredibly, like, you know.
All right. Next turn. Okay. May I have a shot at this?
Sure. Go ahead, Arthur.
Childcare with Selsig.
Charisma, right?
Yes.
Where's my career? Okay, here we go. Let's try it again. There we go.
You remember in your childhood, Arthur, a song, whether it was your mother, whether it was your father, or someone else that sang to you, but you remember a lullaby, and you begin to sing that to the child now, and as you sing, you notice that the child seems to be getting quieter and quieter, and by the time Justice returns with Dorn behind him, the baby is asleep in your arms.
Shh.
And Dorn, you know, when he sees, you know, sort of chokes back a sob, and he says, "Oh, it's Kelsey and me babe," and he reaches out to you, Arthur.
And yes, I slowly and carefully hand the child over to Dorn as to not wake the child who has just fallen asleep.
And he kind of rocks the child back and forth, and then he kneels and he sort of strokes the hair, and he says, "Kelsey, my love, Kelsey, Kelsey." And you see she kind of eventually sort of like maybe sort of turns her head in his direction. She's clearly not right, but it doesn't look like she's poisoned. It doesn't look like but she just looks like she's seen things, man, like the 1,000-yard stare. And she kind of just sort of blinks at him. And he says, "You know, come on now." And he stands her up, and she does actually manage to stand up and kind of stumbles off, like next to him. As he's leading her, and he says, he looks at you and he kind of waves with his left arm that's not, holding the baby to follow.
Okay. Follow him.
Yeah.
So as he's going, he sort of says to all of you, he says, I can't thank you enough. I don't know what happened to them, but she's been scared out of her wits. And Kelsey, she ain't easy to scare. I don't know what this is, sirs, but whatever it is did what they did to the house and did what they did to my family. It's not safe being a farmer anymore. I'm going to bring him back to the inn, to the Six Windows Inn in town for now. But thank you. I don't know how to thank you. And then he sort of looks around and he says, oh, and he pulls from around his neck. He pulls out this necklace, and he yanks it off. It's like a little string cord that breaks. And there's some kind of a strange symbol, like a spiral symbol, that is hanging on the edge of it. And he hands it out. He hands it over to you, Arthur, and he says, this has been in my family for a long time. It's the thing that we most treasure, and it's brought luck to our family, or at least it did before now. If you can find whatever did this, sir, well, you'll have more than this. You'll have my undying thanks. Until then, sir, thank you for saving my family. And he, sort of hands you this symbol.
Okay, well, we accept, and you're welcome.
Check.
So he grabs that, and then he sort of continues. And then, if you will, you can head back into town, unless there's other stuff you want to do at the place, which you can certainly look for other things too if you wish.
I'm actually serious about the Arcana check. It might be magical. In some way.
You can do that if you like, Arthur.
Do it.
Okay, yes, I will do an Arcana check.
Weird.
Okay, so that's, 20 plus 3. There we go.
So there's a kind of a faint aura that you get from this, but it's hard to track down. You definitely feel like either this is magical faintly, or was magical, or was with magical things, but there's definitely an aura that is specific to this symbol that is not just sort of background noise. But it's not strong, and you don't know, like, how, what they could. Sometimes you've encountered things that have latent magical properties that can be activated and become very strong, and other times they're just things that you find that were mingled in a dragon's hoard, and you just sort of pick up what's left over. But there's something that definitely, this is not totally normal as a necklace.
Okay. Well, I say that the best person to ask about the history of this amulet, and plus about his dealings in the old graveyard, is Father Longfellow. So before Dawn makes his way to the Six Windows Tavern, I'd like to ask him as to the whereabouts of where we might find Father Longfellow in the town.
Okay.
Before we go back, though, I think it would be a good idea if we looked around the area for clues or trap doors or anything.
Or secret stashes of weapons.
Well, I did have that perception crit, which I might have found anything, because we were right there, basically. But if you want to check,
I mean,
This creature.
You mean
this creature could hurt other people. We should probably see if we could find it and put it down.
It is half a mile back to the house.
half the mile.
Half a mile.
I wanted to say that perception check, by the way, Celsic, was related to the noise and everything that you were hearing, but it's not a radius like a sonar. Boop,
Okay.
ding, it's like
Right,
that.
okay.
So
I would like to
it's not the Witcher's vision, okay? It's not the. If only. What's up, Epidemic?
Yeah, I would love to ask if Dorn knows the whereabouts of Father Longfellow, where we may find him.
And he says, yes, sir. Well, you probably find him at the Shrine of Timora. It's in the northwest side of town, sir. You can't miss it. He's a gnome, sir.
He must know what's going on then.
I don't know him. You know him? Yeah. All right.
No.
That's what he says.
All right. Shrine of Timora it is. If everyone
Okay.
feels okay with that.
All right. So as you guys are heading there, very quickly, I'll just say, welcome everybody. I hope you're enjoying Pen and Pixels and D&D with these guys. I certainly am. It's 20 minutes after 6 p.m. We got about another 40 minutes on this channel before I'll be signing off, and then I'll be on my channel about an hour after that playing some Dark Souls. Oh God. And the next person will be, I believe it's Miss Psyche, who's playing Neverwinter Nights tomorrow. So, so you can feel free to stop by and check out some Dark Souls until tomorrow, because you got 17 hours until then. But I'm playing with, of course, the wonderful players of Megapieman PhD, Screaming Joypad / Mike, Darksaber, and of course Chrono Wolf, as you guys can see on there. Pyre and Jade will be back soon. So, you guys are heading back, and you can see, if you take a look again on your map up there, that this Shrine of Timora is up here to the northwest, and you guys were coming basically from over here. So it takes you a little ways to sort of maneuver through the streets and so on. And at one point, right about, let's say, maybe right about here, as you were in a particularly deserted area of town, because at this point it's getting to be early evening, and so time is getting on a little bit. You're walking along, and suddenly 3 men step out in front of you to block your path. And you notice that they are 3 men who are wearing these cloaks, and they look similar to the 3 men, Arthur, that you saw in the 6 Windows Inn. And the man in the middle sort of stops you and holds up his hand. He says, "All right, that'll be far enough."
And who are you when you're at home?
And he says, "When I'm at home, I'm the same thing that I'm on the street, halfling. Why don't you keep your mouth
What's
to
that?
your...
In my way?
And he says, "I'll be more than you're in your way if you don't shut up." And the 2 next to him sort of chuckle, sort of nastily. And he says, "Now look, I understand that you all have been trying to find some things around here, some information. But I'm here to tell you that Sharky don't much like it when you try to find things that he's not in charge of. So Sharky came to tell you, sent us to tell you, to stop looking into whatever you're looking into. Go back, why don't you do some drinking, spend some time, maybe arm wrestling," and they all sort of chuckle at each other, "or talking to people about their problems. But stop looking into this. We won't ask twice."
I'll lean in. I'll lean in with an intimidation attempt.
Okay, what are you going to say?
Yes.
So basically, we're trying to rid this town of some evil. Now, you can either get out of our way or be in our way.
And he holds up his hand and he says, "Oh, my friend, I mean no offense. I was just giving you a warning, a message, if you like. It's totally up to you about what you want to do with it. But when Sharky sends a message in this town, it's usually a good idea to listen." And the
If
other
it was
one
that important, why ain't he delivering it himself?
and the other one says, "'Cause Sharky don't deliver anything what he don't want to say." And then the second one kind of looks at him and says, "I don't make any sense." "Oh." And the guy over on the left says, "The point that he's making is that when Sharky sends people to send his messages, the messages get sent. He don't need to bother himself with his business, and neither do you." And the second
Or
one
you can
sort of,
return to sender.
and the second
Well, who
one,
is this Sharky person anyway?
I would like to meet him.
and the second guy, the second guy sort of holds up a hand. He says, "Oi, if you don't know what Sharky is, you'll find out soon enough. Consider this a friendly warning, and your last one. With that, we bid you good day." And with that, they sort of nod at you, and then basically, walk off into the alleyway, leaving the way free.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I want to stealth after them.
Well, you can try if you want, although they are sort of, they're not like turning away and then like robots, like not looking back. I mean, they are sort of looking over their shoulder at you. But you can make an effort if you want.
I'm going to take a stealth roll, I think, and try and see where they go.
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me. What are the other 3 of you guys doing?
I'm going to also attempt to follow them.
Okay.
I personally,
I'm sticking with the other 2.
yeah.
Okay.
You're following too?
No. I'm sticking with Arthur and Justice, because I assumed that the halfling would be the person who would be going after them,
Okay.
because he's quite light on his feet.
Okay, so
Because I still don't know what you guys actually do for a living or what you actually are, so I just assume that he's the sneaky one.
it's a pretty good guess because he definitely seems to be
This is
moving.
racial profiling.
No, it's the soft-soled leather shoes that do it.
And your big cape on the back that says #1 rogue.
Yeah.
I need to
And the bandit mask and the sack with the dollar sign on
Abandoned
it.
quest. I have a new quest. I need this cloak in my life.
It says my other weapon is a poison dagger. No. So let's see. Let's see what we got here. Okay. So a couple of times, Celsig, as you're now, I have a question. Justice, how far behind Celsig are you staying?
I'm not necessarily following them. I'm more following him, who's following them.
Right, but how far
I'm
though?
Staying, I'm staying a good distance back. I'm kind of like holding the
So you're
chair
trying
up
to
in front of me
stealth
as
Celsig.
I'm hiding behind the chair so no one will notice as I am walking.
Okay.
in.
So you're hiding behind the chair. Are you really? Are you really hiding behind the chair like a cardboard box style?
Corridor.
Yeah, it'll work. No one will notice.
So, suddenly one of the guards gets a big exclamation point over his head and you hear ring. No, I'm just kidding. No, that doesn't happen. Yeah, exactly. Snake, snake, snake. No, that's not what happens. So I would like Celsig to make a perception check for me, please.
Okay, perception. That's +3. 12.
Okay. So I would like you, Justice, to make a stealth roll, please.
This is probably a really bad option for me to be doing. All right, let's see. Oh, I actually have a +1 to that one. I'm surprised it's not a negative.
Did the full plate mail give it away?
Clank, 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 clank.
Clang, clang, clang. You pull this off.
Is this a D20?
Yes.
Yes. +1.
Okay, so you are pretty confident, Celsig, that something is following you. You hear like sort of a clanking metal. Now it's not crazy loud, but you hear like what sounds like people knocking maybe like plates together or helmets or something. And occasionally you hear something whispered like, Dan, be quiet, Dan. You know, like something like that. And we're trying to be quiet and stealthy. I'm on Team Rabbit. Be very, very quiet. No, but so you guys are going around, and in the meantime, Celsig, you notice that the ones that you were following, they go down a couple of different alleyways, and they kind of lead you all the way around until eventually, one of them heads off down to the south. So one of them heads off, if you see where I'm pinging, down that main road, and two of them stop at a building. And it's now probably about definitely the sun is setting rapidly. It's getting dark. You see torches now being lit in various houses, or lanterns, I should say. And you see two of them stop and knock, bang on the door. Doof, 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 doof. And they bang again. Doof, 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 doof. And then you see a older, sort of bent over man. He looks to me maybe in his 60s or 70s. Kind of open the door and he says, "I don't have it yet." And the two of them look at him and they say, "That's not the point. You're gonna have it when we tell you to have it. Sharky's asked you 3 times now." He says, "But it's too much. I can't deliver it, I tell you." And the man grabs the front of the guy's shirt and holds him up and he says, "Sharky's feeling you're not motivated enough to give it to us. We've explained to you the way this works. We keep you safe, don't we?" And the man says, "Only from you." And he says, "I don't want to hear your cheek. If you don't get that money to us, and I mean get it to us complete here by tomorrow morning, there's not going to be anything left of your store to sell." And he shoves the guy back, and you hear this slam and a cat like, "Wow!" and this smashing of a plate. And then he slams the door. And he kind of nasty laugh at the other guy, and he says, "That's the third one tonight, right?" And he moves off with the other guy up to the sort of north of that road, so continuing up this way, basically.
The plot thickens.
Is that back
Yeah.
towards where
Yes,
we are, basically?
correct. That's right.
Right.
And so as you guys make your way around, Justice, you see the crouching figure of Celsig. and sort of looking.
Did we pass this building yet? That with the guy in it that they were threatening?
No, you were behind. You were behind them, and they just saw this happen. So you're not at that building yet. Luckily, I sell the contents in the store, not the actual store. True enough. Thanks for the subscription, Fraglamat. Welcome in.
Thank you, Fraglamat.
Thank you for the resub. So yes.
Yeah.
So so you guys now have that, and you see the door to the building, of course, is still closed. The two men are moving off to the north, the two cloaked figures, and that's where you're at.
Where's the third one?
You don't know. You don't see a third
To
one.
say out of character, I kind of do want to discuss with everyone what to do, but I'm also conscious of the fact that we could lose
Hang
a
on.
chance to follow them if I stop to do this.
I'm confused. We were following 3 guys, and then they knocked on the door. Now there's 2 of them.
You
one
remember,
went south.
remember
One
you
guy
were
went south,
behind
yeah.
them, Justice, so you didn't see what Celsig saw. Right now, all you heard was the thing I just described to you is something only Celsig could see. The rest
I'm
of
sorry,
you
I
didn't see
was-
any of that. Yeah, you're
I was
tracing him.
confused. You were thrown. I was thrown off by that.
That's right,
Sorry.
they're a little bit behind me.
I gotta remember that
Yeah.
that's a thing.
Yeah, remember I told you were behind Celsig, who was behind them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I'm kind of aware that you are following me, so...
Well, now,
Well,
yeah. So now you hear the
yeah.
metal comes to a stop, and now you hear this
Him being
heavy
aware that
breathing.
I'm following him is not important. The only thing is that the other people don't know that I'm there.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm just saying this out of character, really, because I'm a bit not sure how to go about this, because I can either carry on following them, but I haven't clued you people into what's even going on yet, or I can
I
go
think you
back
should carry on
and
following
losing
them.
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
we can discuss the decision, if we can discuss this sort of stuff completely out of character, I definitely think you should follow them.
Okay. Yeah, because
I
that's the
personally
first time I
think you've
played
got-
D&D for this game, so I don't know what the
I personally
etiquette
think you've
is.
gotten enough information to make an assumption.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is a decision that you're going to have to make quickly here, Celsig. But
Yeah.
you've given as much of it as you can. The two are about to disappear out of sight round the corner, and there is the building in front of you, and of course the guy to the south has already vanished.
Yeah. We'll continue following the other two for a little while longer. I think it's the best idea. I
Okay.
mean, I think all we're going to find out from interrogating the old man is that there's a person called Sharky and he's not very nice.
Okay.
So yeah,
All right, you're continuing to do that. Make make another perception check.
I'm
for me,
being
please.
noise.
Make another perception check for me. Yes, you do. Hear noise.
3, 14.
Make a perception check, and I would like you, Justice, to make another stealth check, please.
That's a 5.
Yeah.
That's more
Yeah.
like
So
it.
you really, Celsig, you are suddenly acutely aware there is a presence behind you. It's getting louder. You think you hear metal sort of smashing into each other. It's coming to you pretty close.
Is there a reason why he doesn't know that I'm following him?
Because he's been paying attention to the people in front of him, but now
Yeah.
you're right on top of him.
Right,
Okay.
so
Thank you for
I
distracting
actually-
him.
I
Well, the whole
grabbed my
point
rapier.
was just to be there for backup in case it was
Right.
needed.
You're not playing
But I
this.
actually-
You're not Pi. You're not playing this wrong. This is perfectly normal. This is all part of how everything would go down, though. So
Okay, I'm just
No,
making sure.
we
you're not
didn't
playing it
discuss
wrong.
a
Saying what's
plan.
going on.
yeah, you're not playing it wrong.
I kind of, yeah, we didn't discuss a plan. I just kind of snuck off after them, and then I haven't really said, like, you people stay behind me, so I don't know. I've just sort of focused in on something and gone off.
Yep.
Yeah, you've just slinked away, sort of thing.
Yeah, and everyone's gone, oh, hello, and just sort of come after me.
Meanwhile,
what do you-
I'm remaining here with Ura, and it's like, so, you're an orc. How's that working out for you?
So Celsig, what
Yeah.
do you do with this sound that I talked about?
I'm actually going to draw my rapier,
Okay.
and I'm going to spin round on the spot, and I'm going to yell, here comes Halfling Death!
Okay, and
see what happens.
you find yourself face to face with a rather startled-looking, trying to basically hide behind his sword, Justice.
Chair.
Yeah, behind the chair. I beg your pardon. Yeah, you see a chair. I beg your pardon. Yes, you see a chair, and then just right over the edge, like Kilroy was here. You see the eyes of Justice, and then Justice is like, and then I don't know what he does from there because it's up to you, Justice.
I just sort of
Well, I'm
blink
just
at him
gonna-
and go, Justice, what in mask's sweet name are you doing?
Shut up, quiet! Don't stab my chair. Keep going.
Don't stop my chair.
Throw my-
Don't look at
put
this
my
chair.
rapier away.
Don't look at the chair. It's totally normal.
I just sort of shake my head, sheath my rapier, and hope I haven't lost the two guys.
They're gone when you turn back around.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, oh well.
However,
I had to go with it.
you do hear the voices of Urash and Arthur not far off, because you've actually made your way all the way back around to where you first found, those guys. So you actually hear them chatting. Arthur seems to be asking Urash about being an orc, and Urash says something about apple, but you can't really make the rest of it.
You're the
God, I
apple
hate
of my
apples.
orc.
Yeah.
You are the apple of my orc. Yeah. All right.
So they've returned to us.
I assume, assuming that Celsig and Justice continue, yes. So now you guys can
Well,
chat
yeah.
if you like.
Well, I'd like to be appraised of what Celsig found out.
It seems
Yeah, where
like
did you
there's
two go
more
to?
going on in this town than just mystery creatures flattening buildings. This Sharky guy, he seems to be roughing up the local shopkeepers. I know
We
of a
should kill him.
protection racket when I sees one.
Mm.
We should definitely kill him.
What strikes me very curious about this Sharky fellow is, number one, he sends his goons after us to prevent us from investigating this grave figure any further. After we had just found Dawn's wife and child with their home that had been destroyed. Then shortly afterwards, you followed him to another house to which he was threatened to have his house destroyed if he didn't pay up. So I deduce from this, I don't know if I have to roll to deduce this, but I deduce
I'm waiting
from
to hear.
this, I deduce from this that this Sharky character is going around exploiting people for protection money. What's that? Extortion. He's extorting people for protection money, and if they don't pay up, he is either destroying the homes themselves and claiming it to be this grave figure to avoid implication, or he's setting this grave figure upon those who do not pay up. And that's why he does not want us getting to the bottom of this grave figure, because it would lead to him.
I don't want to get the bottom of any kind of figure.
But
That's a...
how
Know what I
does
mean?
that tie in with
I only
this
understood half of what that guy said.
Maybe the priest is Sharky.
to the shrine?
I do think we should pay this particular person a visit. Is a Sharky character?
I don't know
So,
who it is.
so let's see. Urash, I will give you an opportunity here. What I'll ask you to do is to make a history check, which I think is... Oh boy. I forget if history is wisdom or not. See if you have it on your sheet,
Wisdom.
Urash.
History is intelligence, which is unfortunate.
Okay, that's right. So
Um,
intelligence. So do you have it? Do you have it trained or not? If not, just make.
No, it's untrained, so I get a -1 in it. There
Okay.
you go. A 5.
All right. Something sort of tickles your memory about. Hello, my love. My daughter.
Excuse me.
Something.
All right.
Something. Yeah. What? My love? No. This is my love. But something. Thank you, baby. Something tickles your memory about. You thought you had heard something about a Sharky before, but you can't remember what it is or why. You think you've heard about that. You've heard that name somewhere. You think, but you don't know from what.
I'm sure the name Sharky's familiar. Maybe someone mentioned him in the marketplace. I'm sure the Sharky. Something about that reminds me of something. I don't know what it is though.
Mm-hmm. So you get that. All right. And then are you, so in other words, the point is there's no like Sharky's house that you're aware of. Not in any case that way. But you
Sharky's
the name sounds
aquarium.
familiar. Perhaps, yes. Sharky hype, yeah. So, the question is what you want. So you can kind of file that away in your information bank and continue to the shrine, or do something else.
I think
We should free the people from this oppression. Whatever point in our quest, we should definitely do this for the good of the people.
we do at least need to make a note that Sharky probably needs our attention at some point. Maybe we'll get a little bonus from the Lord Protector.
Is he a
Unless
street
it is the
shark?
Lord Protector.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Okay. All right. So you're going to continue your way on to. You're going to continue your way onto this thing.
I think shrine, yeah.
Shrine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so, because we're around the corner to it, aren't we?
Yes. So you guys continue on to the shrine. Now, just before you arrive there, so you started out, you were about here, roughly speaking, and you're making your way around. But just as you're about to arrive there, you see as you turn the corner, basically turn the corner to go north, you see a young woman about 50 yards ahead of you in lantern light. Suddenly, without warning, she ducks into a narrow alleyway, and a moment later you hear her screaming horribly. This is not the baby cry. This is like, you know, rah, 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 you know, like shrieking, screaming. Rah.
Wilhelm screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really wish I could pull out Wilhelm scream on demand. It would
I
be
sort
so
of look, I look at everybody else and draw my rapier.
Yeah, can we run in the direction of the screaming?
Sure.
It's already
absolutely.
done.
Who is going to be now? I have a question because you guys are going to be basically you're going to be up and then ducking to the left somewhere about here. So when you duck to the left into this fairly narrow alleyway, who's like, basically you could go in theoretically 2 by 2. So like, who's in front, who's in back?
I'm going back row.
I guess I could ready
think
my
me and the-
shield and head up the front.
Okay. With
I think me and the Iron Giant should go in front.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I like how every time he gets larger, he becomes a behemoth. Well, me and Doctor Doom here will like. It's just like,
Me and
okay.
Colossus.
It's like Shadow of the Colossus.
You two are
exactly.
literally our riot shield at the moment.
Yep. So
Okay.
I'm third.
Yeah, I have great axe in hand as well.
Okay.
Hands.
Do I have a shield? Hang on.
Go ahead and check that as I'm finding this.
You said you did.
I thought I did have
But we were swapping
one,
earlier.
but well, I have notes that say shield, but I don't see a shield in my inventory.
You have a chair.
Yeah.
You could be like a lion tamer with a sword.
We need to find him a whip.
This is
Yeah.
weird.
Exactly, Ghibli. 1 shield, 1 chair, double protection fighting. It's exactly
I have
right.
like background information on the shield that I have, but there's no shield in my inventory.
Well, you lost it then.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh wait, yeah, I do. Okay, I found it.
You found the shield? Okay.
It's metal. It's a
So-
metal shield.
So you better not have traded that for the chair.
So you
I
guys.
I just had to find it in the character sheet. I'm sorry.
So you guys go, you know, steaming around the corner, you know, ready to find out. And as you enter the alleyway, you are horrified to see what appears to be the last transformations of something into this, which you are about to see on your screen.
Oh dear.
In just a moment. Yeah, it's in. Sorry, not in the. You won't see it in Roll20. It'll. You'll see it in my stream. Sorry, I beg your pardon. On
Oh,
GOG.
right. Okay.
Oh, it's
Oh,
the
nice.
character from that game Vlad was playing.
Oh no, it's Vermintide all over again.
You are pretty convinced that
Batman.
what you were looking at is a were-rat, and this creature.
Did the woman turn into this?
Yep, it sure looks like it because she was just pulling herself up from the ground. It is not a wild Rattata. This is not Pokemon Go. It is, however, a were-rat. And with that, gentlemen, we are going to roll initiative for our first combat of the night. So, this is the way this is going to work. Give me some. First of all, I'm going to need some battle music.
Action music.
Give me some battle music.
Oh yes.
There we go. That's
I'm
what I'm talking about.
I'm just gonna sit on my chair real quick.
All right. So here we go. Now, the way that initiative works is I'm going to pop up here a turn order. And I guess I don't have any tokens here yet. Well, I didn't want to do this yet. I wanted to keep a theater of the mind for a while longer. But that's okay. Because you guys do actually have tokens. So I will make copies of these. So give me just a second. I'll bring them over. And then I'm going to have to I'll bring a token in for you as well. See.
Just out of character real quick, do we think this might be what attacked the house?
I don't know. Do we?
Your best guess is that this is smaller than that. It doesn't look like the claws on this thing are not big enough to have created the grooves that you saw.
Okay. Okay.
So you don't think so.
I don't think this rat would huff and puff and blow a house down.
Pretty much.
Oh, rats.
All right, let's see. So let's paste that. Okay, on the Triboar map, I just gave Pi. I just gave you your token. You should be able to see in Roll20.
I got it there.
You got it. All right, and then over in Triboar. Okay, now I just put you down, Celsig.
Okay, let me find me. There I am. Got it.
All right, and I'm gonna bring over. Let's see. No, was Fleos' old character. That's Pyron.
I think I'll go behind. Yeah, so I'll place myself behind Ura.
That's not me.
No, you're not there yet, but because
Oh,
I'm
right,
behind
okay,
the front row, I'm placing
I
myself where I
thought
assume
we
you'd
were
be.
further left than this. I thought we were like just
I'm
south
not
of the
putting
shrine.
you. Yeah. I'm just putting you on the map for the moment. I just.
Oh, I see.
don't-
I
okay.
see.
I'm not.
Sorry, I
Yeah,
apologize.
there you go. I just put you there. I just put you there too.
Yep.
So, what I'm basically doing for this is I'm going to drag you guys in. No, not that way. I'm going to do this instead. Add turn.
Tikanji in chat. Arv has just mentioned that the music is actually hiding the roll window. I don't know if that's something you're aware of.
Oh, yeah. I'll take care of that in just a second.
Okay, cool.
But thank you, Tikanji. Okay, I just gave you that, which is controlled by. Right. And where's the fourth of you? I see Justice. I see. Because
that would
okay.
be
That would be
me.
you, which I haven't
know.
added yet. Yes, thank you.
I was gonna say that's why I can't see it.
I'm a genius. All right, hang on a second. I'll get you yours.
Thank you.
Hey, Fleos.
Hey, what's up, Fleos? For great justice. That's right.
Hey, Fleos.
Hello, Fleos.
All right, sorry about this, guys. Give me 1 second here. All right. Right.
He needs to create the mightiest orc avatar.
Yeah, this stuff takes time. I mean, like.
Sorry, half orc.
You know.
Half orc. It's very important.
I hope someone in chat is inspired to do some art of the arm wrestling epic.
Oh my god, that was
Oh my
amazing.
days, that would be awesome.
Do you use an axe? I forget if I asked you this,
Yes.
Mikey. Do
Yeah, I use a great axe. Great axe.
All right, here's me again purchasing an asset. Man, it's too good.
It's okay. GOG will pay you back.
GOG will pay me back. Great.
He laughs bitterly.
I do. But then it breaks down into crying. Oh, God. All right, give me 1 second.
So, does the weir rat look poisonous in any way?
Yes.
Just asking.
Are you unfamiliar
Just to
with
be
the
sure.
Skaven?
Maybe. Let's see. What? Oh my god, I don't remember. Fine, just do this other thing. Dumb bloody burger. Alright. So, here we go. Here you go, man. I hope you're
Spence
happy.
is killing me.
I hope you're happy. Except he's not. Well, he's.
Are you sure that's not just a dwarf?
I'm trying to find.
That looks about right.
I think it looks about right. Just not that big.
Accurate.
Let's
Yeah,
reduce him
no,
to
that's
a.
the size of what I was talking about. He's bigger than Justice.
Yeah, when I said bigger than Justice, I didn't mean that bigger than Justice.
He's not Godzilla.
Physically bigger
will
than
ride
the
him into
concept of
battle.
justice.
Exactly. Okay, now I've given you control of him. So now you'll be able to move him around.
Ah, I see. Yes,
Okay.
bizarre.
and I am also going to add you to the turn order. Okay, so now the way that initiative works, we won't have to do this again. That's why I was doing this now. So you guys, what you're going to do is each of you is going to roll a 20-sided die. You'll add your initiative bonus to it. That should be a number listed on your sheet. It's usually your dexterity bonus, and then that is going to be put into this turn order that you see on your left, and I will correct everything about OBS in just a minute when that's taken care of.
Initiative.
Okay, I'm gonna roll now.
It's just your dexterity, right?
Yes,
I bet
although
you
there's
got better
sometimes
than me.
bonuses based on other things.
Oh, initiative. There we go. Top right.
Yeah, where rat is in the way. It's too bad. I wanted to show off how awesome it was, but okay. You're right.
Oh shit, that was not my initiative. So add another one to that. Should I roll again, or do I just add another
No, it's all
one?
right. So what'd you come up with total?
Oh.
I was 4, but my initiative should have been +2 instead of +1.
How
So-
am I the best with initiative? So thank you, Justice.
So
Justice
okay,
is
so Matt's a
swift.
4. Okay, Celsig, you're a 6. What are you? 6?
6. Yeah.
Justice is a 15. Justice is never surprised.
I should
And,
have been a 5 because I was a +2 instead of a +1.
You should have been a 5. Okay.
Yes.
And you got a 3. Wow, you guys are like, oh my god, what is that? Okay.
Ratsa'ooey!
I don't want to know what that is. Okay, let's see what we get here. As I look up the appropriate statistics. Man, should have had you guys fight a were-boar instead.
Get it, Triboar?
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Let's see. This creature. Okay, and it's got that. So it's going to be. Oh wow! All right. So this thing moves first.
Of course.
Clearly moves first, and let me pull up the actual creature that we've got there. There we go. This one I've already got. And let's go with this. All right. Okay, there we go. Like so. And we're going to add the turn. And that thing rolled very well.
Ugh.
Okay, which I would only show you when he first emerges. Okay.
Oh,
So,
Rata.
the creatures that are in front of you, the rat got the ambush surprise, more or less, yes. Sees in front of you and hisses, like, and then leaps at the charging figure of Urash and gets. Okay. So, let's see. It jumps at you, and it is this sort of strange hybrid form. There's two things that you notice. The first is that it's got this one claw that it tries to strike you with, and a bite. So the claw, it misses, but as you sort of duck out of the way, it comes back with a bite, and it has a 23 to hit. So what you do is look at your armor class and see whether or not it is 23. If it's more than 23, then this creature is going to miss. If it's equal to or less, then this thing is hit.
It's hit me.
Okay. Alrighty, so let's see. It does let's see, 5 points of damage to you. Piercing damage, though. I don't remember if you're resistant to that or not. Is that one of the ones we said?
I think only when I'm raging.
Okay,
I'm
that's
resistant
right.
to that. Or if that's
Yeah, you think you're
unless
right.
that's
That's
a
right. When you're
crit
raging.
plus
Yep, that's
one.
right. So you
Yeah.
do. It does 5 points of damage to you, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. So I need you to roll a 20-sided die and add your Constitution modifier to it.
Okie dokie. Here we go.
Okay.
9.
Okay. Noted. All right. So so let's see. That was and it. So it does that and then kind of leaps back and looks at you, kind of chittering horribly. Justice, you are up.
Okay.
So what do you want to do?
Well, what's happening?
You're fighting. So you're facing
Thanks.
a were-rat.
Thanks,
Is what
Arthur.
you're
I-
The
facing.
giant
I
rat.
hadn't
has
figured
just
that
bit
part
me.
out yet.
Yes, you're facing a were-rat. So what do you want to do with it? You just saw it bite your companion.
Okay. There's no way to like undo a were-rat, right?
There may be ways to uncurse it, but not ones that you have readily available to hand. So yes.
So we don't necessarily want to kill it. I would like to try to knock it unconscious by hitting it with the butt of my sword.
Okay. So I confuse it with the chair. All right. So
If that would work, we could also try that. But I don't think that'll work.
okay, so you can make a standard melee attack. Let's see what you can do to try to knock it on the head. So like a standard attack, basically.
Okay. I don't have a standard attack thing. All my stuff. So I just don't.
No,
wanna-
you're attacking normally with your sword. It's just that instead of damage, you're going to be doing something else to it. So
All right. Okay. I'm sorry. I got to remember how to do this stuff. We take like a month off between these, so I always forget exactly
it's
how to do
so you
this.
roll a 20, and you're going to add your so there should be a sword bonus, like a attack bonus that it will say there.
Okay, I got a plus. Well, I got a +3 and I got a +5.
And I think you're doing the dueling thing, right? Aren't you doing the dueling thing? Didn't we talk about that? Which I think gives you.
Yeah, because I have a shield in one hand and I have a sword in the other one, so I get +2 from duel. My total attack is +5, so it'd be like a +7.
Yeah, that sounds maybe like a lot, but maybe.
Am I doing that right?
So your sword would be how much? How much do you have on your sword? Plus what?
Okay, so my total attack bonus for my long sword is +5 for Dan.
Okay, so then adding the +2 for the duel would be +7. Yeah.
All right, and it's a D20.
Yes.
I'm sorry to have to ask you every time.
It's okay.
Still ends up only being 17.
So you do strike it, and you sort of send it staggering back a little bit, but it is not knocked unconscious. And it occurs to you that it's probably going to have to be a lot more hurt than it is right now for you to have this kind of effect. I mean, it's like all fired up and ready to go. So it's not really in a position to be able to subdue it as of yet.
I would like to make a statement to the rest of my group that I feel that we should not kill it. We should instead try to only subdue it, so that, because it is like a person at some point.
Okay. You do so, and Celsig, that leads us to you.
I immediately reply, I'll take that under advisement, and then try and take a stab at it with my rapier.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make your attack.
Okay, D20 plus 5, halfling death, 15.
Hit.
Yes! And I'm going to use sneak attack on it, so I get 1d6 bonus on that as well.
Okay.
Okay, alright, let me type this one out, it's going to be a bit complicated. Roll 1d8 plus 1d6 plus 3. 4, 6. Wow.
Okay. So you stab it solidly, and it kind of chitters in pain, and then looks at you balefully. Actually, I should have realized that you sort of darted underneath the legs of the two guys in front of you, basically, because this alleyway is 2 by 2. So, Arthur, I bring this up because you're up next, but you do have a that is going to be a concern for you because you got 2 big lugs in front of you, basically.
Sure. Okay, in that case, I would like to cast a spell. In order to remain faithful to Justice's request, I would like to cast Sleep Spell on our character.
All right, that sounds good. Newly acquired this spell.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting. It's like a new car. I've been waiting to try it.
It's got that new car, that new spell smell.
Yes. Now you'll have to refresh my memory on how I roll this.
So I'm just taking a look to see. Sleep. So the way this works is you're going to roll 5d8, and the total is how many hit points of creatures this spell can affect. So creatures within 20 feet of a point you choose within range are affected in ascending order of their current hit points. So basically, you're going to see how many hit points of creatures this spell can affect, and then you're going to go from there. So you start by checking how many hit points of creatures you can affect by rolling 5d8.
5d8. So, okay. 5d8. Let's do that. Plus 0. Roll.
Okay. So, let's see. So, okay. So you cast it, and you, Justice and Urash, you feel this strange sort of slumbering quality sort of ascend across you, and you're like, I feel kind of, and you sort of lie down like right on the spot, Justice and Urash, leaving Celsig, and Arthur, you look over and you see Celtic has this horrified look on his face as he's now facing the were-rat over the sleeping bodies of your companions. The were-rat itself blinks several times, and then blinks again, and then like shakes its head, and is like, I'm sorry, I did that wrong. That's not true. Only Justice does this. I'm sorry. Urash, you managed to shake it off. So you feel sleepy for a moment, but then you shake it off. Justice is now snoring on the chair. He actually puts down the chair and sleeps on the chair. And you see both the were-rat and Urash shake off the effect of the sleep.
So it didn't affect him whatsoever?
No. It seems like it did affect him, but it wasn't strong enough. It did have an effect on him, however. But it didn't like slow him down, but it definitely, you think it almost could have taken it out, but
should I have added a spell attack modifier to that? Because I did have a spell attack modifier.
I don't believe it does that. There's no attack modifier in this particular case. It's more the sort of range in the situation where you were. So like, and basically what it is that the way it works is that each creature's hit points get subtracted from the total hit points that are there. That you affected. So you affected 25. So I have subtract Justice's hit points. Then you move on. Urash has just enough to resist the effect. And by the way, I just wanted to say, this isn't me being jerky because you're new. I wanted to mention it's a good play, except that because of the location of where the rat is and where you are, there's not easy to target like a space behind it or stuff like that, which is why it's a little bit imperfect. So. The good news, however, is that Justice doesn't go yet. Urash gets to go. Before I do that, though, Arthur, do you want to move back, forward, stay where you are? What do you want to do?
Looks like I could go anyway. I'm apparently asleep.
Well, I'm not asking you,
like...
Justice. Your movement is to sleep. I'm asking Arthur if he wants to move anywhere. And Firecrow has it right. So no, Arthur, I'm sorry I didn't hear that. You're staying where you are? Matt?
Sorry, say that last part again.
I said, are you staying where you are?
I will remain where I am, yes. Okay. I should face my mistake head on.
Okay. Urash, you just inexplicably see Justice like lie down in his chair and start snoring. This is a very odd way to fight, it seems to you, but you are now facing down this rat, and you've certainly seen that.
You Southerners, you fight so strange. Get up, man. Just before we carry on, the roll I did last time, when the rat bit me,
right?
The were-rat bit me,
right?
You asked me to do a Constitution roll.
Indeed,
I did a Constitution roll,
right.
But I added my ability modifier, not my saving throw. Was that correct?
No, I don't follow. You mean? Oh, did you do? Okay, so you had a con saving throw?
No. Yeah, I have a saving throw number, but I added my normal modifier.
No, you'd want to add the saving throw. So what would that have given you?
In that case, it's 2 more than it was. So it was 9. So it should have then been 11.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes any difference.
Yeah, it does actually. You feel something kind of like there's something in the sort of side of your wrist, which you then shake, and that seems to pass. Yes, it does make a difference.
Okay. Woo, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Good call. All right. So you're facing this rat. What do you want to do?
Yeah. Well, every instinct is telling me to just chop it in half, but I did see a woman, or would presumably see a woman, transform into this. So it could be an innocent person. So I will just try and bludgeon it unconscious, probably with the butt of my great axe.
Okay, go ahead and make your attack then. So that's a 20-sided. You're going to attack like you were attacking with your axe, but you're going to be trying to inflict non-lethal damage, basically.
Yep. Cool. I have a total attack bonus of +5, so it's d20 +5. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Cool. There you go. 17.
Hits. So now you're going to roll damage. Again, and this will be non-lethal style, but you're going to roll your damage, which is the damage of your axe, which is probably a 12 or something.
It is 1d12 +3.
Okay, and you're going to roll that for your damage.
3, 4. There you go.
Oof. Okay. Wow, you rolled a 1. Oh my god.
I did.
You're like I don't know whether you're like conflicted. Do I hit? Do I not hit?
Yeah, I just sort of bop it on the nose a little bit rather than actually go for it.
Yep.
It's like, bad rat.
All right, so you bash it in the nose, and it kind of staggers back and chitters at you angrily, and then it leaps at you again. This time it gets a, let's see, we got a 20 on the bite, and then it tries to rake you with the claw, and it gets a 14 with the claw.
Okay.
Either one, the 20 hits. Does the 14 hit?
Yeah, I have an armor class of 13.
Okay. So, it hits you really hard with the claw. It does 7 points with the claw. Rakes you hardcore. It only does 2 points of damage with the bite, but again, I'm going to ask you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Two seconds +4. Thank you. There is my Constitution saving throw. It's 11.
Okay. So again, you feel this like, ugh, and then you kind of shake it off again. Something is definitely, this thing's bite is not a normal bite, from what you can tell. Okay. That leads us on to Justice. Justice, what dream would you like to have?
I would like to have a lovely dream of the old days in paladin training with Dan.
Okay.
I have a question with regards to the attack. This is just a question here where it says when we roll things and we have the proficiency section here, right?
Right.
Let's say, for example, we have +3 perception. Above that, there's a little box that says proficiency bonus. Let's say if that has a plus as well. So does that mean when we roll a 20, it would be +3 +2? So
That's
5
correct.
in total?
That's correct. If it's trained, then it means you get to add your proficiency bonus, which is a set number, to that thing.
Well, I haven't been doing that the entire time.
Oh, okay. Well,
Like the
I would
entire
also
time we've
want
been
to.
playing this.
I'd also want to double check though, and I would want you to double check and make sure that it's not already included in that number that it has there. I don't know. It depends on the character
good point.
sheet, because it might be. But if it's not included, then yes, you should add that on for sure.
Anyway,
know
so
what it is.
we're up to me for my
That
attack
we are
now?
up to. No, we're actually up to Celsig now.
Celsig, sorry, yeah.
Celsig, what do you want to do? You've got you got an angry were-rat and a sleeping Justice.
Yep.
Justice is sleeping.
And because he's fallen backwards in the chair, that kind of puts paid to my usual plan of nip through the legs.
Thank goodness for that.
You could nip through Urash's legs, but I mean that's up to you. And by the way,
Well,
Wolf, I'm happy to answer that question at the end when this session's over. This will be the last fight of the evening, so when we're done with this, we'll wrap up for the night. So go ahead, Celsig.
I guess it is kind of an initiation, so I pop through Ash's legs and go, surprise, and take another stab at the weird rat. And 1d20 +5, 11.
Pain on Justice's face. 11 will miss.
Miss, and I'll just pull back to where I was previously.
You're like, surprise again, and then like you. I didn't make
sorry.
it. Okay, that's going to lead us to Arthur. Now you're up.
Okay, how close am I to this rat?
So you are probably about, you were right behind them, so probably 10 feet at most, maybe 15.
Okay, so I'm not close enough to do any sort of melee spells. I think I might have to resort to my magic missile here.
Okay. Go ahead and fire that off. That will be, I believe, 3, if I'm not mistaken. Missiles, which you can all target at the one creature, each of which is 1d4 points of damage, and I think it's 1d4 plus something. Let's see. For magic missile, it is 1d4 plus 1, yes. So you're going to roll 3 times 1d4 plus 1.
Okay. First one is a 4.
Okay.
All right. 3 times. 2 and a
Okay.
3.
So a total of 9. Okay, these 3 silvery bolts, Urush, like fire past your shoulder and strike into the rat, which you know, chitters horribly. You see flesh, kind of burned flesh, scorched flesh hanging off it a little bit. And assuming that Arthur's staying where he is, Urush, you now have a chance to move. To act, I should say.
Okay, do the same thing again. Try and bash it with the butt of my axe.
Same deal then. Go ahead and make that attack.
Yep, same deal. Okay, cool. So it's 5, 16.
That will hit.
Excellent stuff. And d12 plus 3. Reroll.
Hey, Glob.
4. Again, I
Oh
rolled
my
another
god.
one. I know.
That is amazing. All right.
I really don't want to not kill this.
Right. I mean, you're
this
like, I
guy
don't.
around-
It's so.
this way
I
around.
know.
It's like, this just. I'm using the wrong end. Doosh.
Kid, ugh. All right. So you strike it. It is not dead, but it's looking pretty messed up. And it attacks you again. Oh my gosh. We've got a 21 with a bite and a 23 with a claw.
Well, they both hit.
Let's see.
And our only healer's asleep.
All right. Luckily, you only get 4 points of damage to you. Again, I need to ask you to make that con throw, saving throw, and I think you're down to 1 hit point if I'm not mistaken.
Be back in 2 seconds.
Okay.
Are we going to end up with a we're rat barbarian?
It depends
Yes.
on his Constitution saving throws.
Right.
As long
let's
as
find
he doesn't
out
lose
now.
his mind, that'd be amazing.
I always do con saving throws. Just a matter of course.
Wait, hit points wise, was I not on? Was it not 33? Was I not on a lot of hit points because I had 2 levels of hit points?
Oh yeah. Why did I put you at 19? You're not close to that. You're quite right. So let's see. So that means
I've got 33 near where I put hit points 14 on my pad in front of me, and I've scribbled that out, and I've got 33 next to it, but I'm not 100% certain if that's accurate.
Well,
Just
so
double
it
check
would
the
be
dice.
no, it wouldn't be that much. Remember you have 12 hit points,
1d12.
and then you started with 12, and then you rolled I think a 3. I'm pretty sure you had something like 16 or 17 because your second roll.
Oh,
was
I rolled a 5 originally on my first d12 roll. So the first roll I did would have been my hit points, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but you started out with a
Yeah.
maximum of 12 in that first one. So I think you had 17 maybe hit points or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So you should be down to 1, I think.
Okay. Gulp.
Yep. Gulp is right, but go ahead and make that con saving throw. For me.
Constitution con saving throw +4. 1d20 +4.
Oh yeah, no problem this time. Again, you feel the
Oh,
same sort of
God.
burning sensation. You're getting quite a few wrist marks now. You know, like bite.
Shit.
Okay, Justice remains asleep. Celsig, fascinating fight for you, I know, Pi. Celsig, you're up.
That's okay. I'm already started browsing Google.
Okay, so, Celsig, go ahead.
Yeah, I can't see much else for me to do, but I need to come up with a name for this attack. But straight through the legs again, and have another stab at it.
It's the Rochambeau attack. Okay,
Oh,
poke.
19.
that's a hit. Clearly
Yes, I'm gonna do a sneak attack on it
Halfling with a
again,
gentleman's poke.
a hit. Exactly.
and that's a 6.
Okay. So you stab it and you see blood sort of pouring out of a hole in its belly. It looks really messed up now. And it kind of chitters, sort of, swipes at you like that. And that leads us to you, Arthur.
Oh, is there anything that I could do that would not necessarily kill it, but prevent it from or discourage it from fighting anymore?
Yeah.
Killing it.
Well, I mean, the problem is most of your magic, other than you do have sleep. Now that you can see it, you could probably target it in a safer area, so it would only affect that. And it is pretty injured, so you could try to put it to sleep again with a second use of, a second spell slot. if you
Okay,
wish.
well, if I could step forward to the front and avoid. Well, I guess.
You just put your hands on the
Ju-
back of his chair, basically.
I
on
guess.
the back
Yeah,
of-
I guess Justice. Justice is already asleep. If I accidentally hit him, it'll
It doesn't matter, like really asleep.
just be like, "Hey guys, what's up?" Okay, I will use sleep again. So it was 5d8, right?
Sherry, and not necessarily true with magical sleep. It's not that easy to wake them up, actually. Yeah, that's correct. 5d8.
5d8. Let's do sleep again. And it was plus nothing. Alright, 5d8. There we go.
All right. So you see, like, so you cast the spell and you see the creature, like, its eyes, like, you know, and then you see, and it kind of takes this one, like, almost like a slow motion, like, step towards you. And then you see as Urashi is about to take his, like, fourth bite from it, you see it just slump to the ground and hit the ground, clearly asleep. And you guys have put it asleep. And not that long thereafter, you actually hear, takes a few seconds, probably about 15, 20 seconds after that, Justice wakes up.
Oh my goodness, am I going to actually have to do something now?
Morning, sleepyhead.
So,
Justice, you're on a chair sleeping. There's also a sleeping were-rat in front of you.
well, if it's out, does that mean...
What kind of bachelor party did you guys throw for me?
Someone should probably tie it up, just saying.
Yeah, I have rope, so...
Yeah, well,
Let's do it.
Yeah, tie it up, and I'd like to see what's the probability of it turning back into a human being.
Oh, you're quite
anytime
right.
soon.
You know, you're right, Sharian. You're right. I was wrong about that. Yeah, you could have tried to shake Justice awake. I'm sorry. You're right. Nobody took damage. If he had taken damage, I would have ruled it that way. But obviously, nobody was like hitting Justice or anything for damage. So my fault. You're quite right. That is quite right.
Sharian,
Crossed
actually,
my mind to poke his butt.
The more we know.
I think all of us knew we could have woken Justice.
Oh wow! Shots fired. Snores fired.
That's all right. That's all right. Just remember who here has the healing abilities.
I have never seen a paladin fight. It's very passive.
All right. So the were-rat is
sleep.
snoring away. And
I want to use all 50 of my 50 feet of hemp rope to tie this thing up all nicely.
So 50 feet is a lot, and you wrap it such that it is. I mean, you could basically roll it through the streets on the rope if you so choose.
That was what I was gonna do.
I will leave its like its nose sticking out of the rope that they can breathe.
Okay.
Other than that,
And Urashi is, most of you, I think, were fairly untouched by that fight, except for Urash, who was very hurt.
Pretty badly
I
damaged.
have a large number of very deep bite marks on my arm now.
cut off the arm. It'll stop him from mutating.
Exactly. I've seen Walking Dead.
Well,
Okay.
I feel fine. Like I felt something earlier, but it's gone now.
Would any of us actually be aware of the consequences of being bitten by a were creature?
You would have a pretty good guess. I mean, you've been adventuring long enough that you've heard of things like this before, although you have not yourself encountered that experience. I should say, by the way, Urash, that if you guys take a short rest, which is usually around an hour or so, you can use some of your own hit dice, and I'll explain how this works if you decide to do it, to heal yourself. Or you could have Justice heal you, because, again, it is an hour long. A short rest is an hour in length, basically. So you could do that if you so desire. Or, as I say, you could have you could have Justice try to heal you.
If you guys want to do a short rest, I can use Bless, which will give you an extra... No?
No, only on attacks and saving throws, Pi.
Well, give me a moment here.
Okay.
Let me read it. Okay.
I attack my disease. I attack my wound.
Because that's what immune systems do.
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole new way of thinking. Exactly, Christian said, I feel fine. I feel happy. You're not fooling anybody.
Do we?
I'm kind of
fine,
shuffling
don't
away
worry
from
about
the rush.
Do we just want to do a rest here and call it a day?
That's probably good with me, I think, because I've got
Yes.
work
Can
early.
do, yes.
We're a
Probably
bit over.
Yeah, we are a little
time
over
at the
time.
moment.
Fleos was not, I had to cancel today, so I knew it wasn't, I knew we could go a little bit over. But the way that we
would
will
like
do
some
this,
hit points back, however.
yes, well, that's what I want to do that before we sign off. So the short rest. Let me just pull up the rest itself. Yes, okay. So on a short rest, you are able to first of all, some of your skills, which you guys may know about individually, can reset with short rest, some with long rest. But you can spend one or more of your hit dice at the end of a short rest up to your maximum number of hit dice. Now, right now you're level 2, so you've got 2 hit dice. So basically you can roll the die and add your constitution modifier to it for each of the hit dice that you want to spend. So you could spend one of them or 2 of them. It's up to you. And those will be that's the amount that you restore of hit points, Mike.
Okay, I will spend 2 of them.
All right.
So would that be 2 rolls of the dice?
Correct, and it would be your hit die is the same. I think it's 12 for you, so it'd be 2d12 that you'd be rolling, plus your con modifier for both. So 1d12 plus con, 1d12 plus con.
Excellent. 1d12. So there's 1.
16.
And there is another one. So 16 and 7.
So I do want to point out, though, that if you're at 17, you're already at maximum. So you probably don't need to spend You need to spend another hit die.
Okay. That's absolutely fine.
So you can save one of. So you want to mark down on your sheet that you have 1 hit die remaining for another one of these short rests. And those are restored to you after you do a long rest, which is usually between 6 to 8 hours. Yeah.
I see. Thank you very much.
All right. So as you get there, you guys have a trussed up were-rat. You've got the Shrine of Timora that you have to explore with the mysterious Father Longfellow. And you got your boy Sharky out there that has got things that are dealt with. And with that, gentlemen, I think we're going to...
And you've gained a new party member. Hello.
Call this session to an end. So this was a lot of fun, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves and had a good time. We did get a little bit of fighting. We got some... You saved a baby. So I think this has been a good one. I will start
I got rid of my apples.
Yeah, it was good. You got all the apples.
Arm wrestling competition.
And the arm wrestling was epic, for sure.
Contest the ages.
So let me start this time all the way to the right, and I'll start with you, Matt. What is going on with you? Where will people see you on GOG or elsewhere?
So my next stream is coming up this Thursday. I'm not sure what I'm going to stream, but it usually happens right after the GOG cast at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So at the moment, I've got, what have I got? I've got Cosmonautica in there. It's calling the Sex in Space Show. That's SECKS, named after the planet in the game.
Lovely.
And but I'm also being, a few people have requested I continue my playthrough of SimCity 3000 there, because they did enjoy that last time. Or Dead Space. I don't know. One of the three. I've got games I can continue, but I'll make a decision. Other than that, I've got my own channel, which is twitch.tv/MattCatPlays. I'm currently doing playthroughs of City Skylines and Mass Effect on those channels. So you can find me there or on Twitter or anywhere else.
Lovely. Awesome, man. All right, Saber, when are we going to see you doing various pirate-themed game work or whatever you're at these days?
Well, tomorrow I'm going to be streaming on my own channel, twitch.tv/DarkSaber2K. I'm actually going to be carrying on The Last Remnant. Unusually for me, it's a JRPG, which I don't play a lot of, but I've really got into it. I sort of did a one-off stream of it on my channel, so I'm going to be picking up that. And if all goes ahead as planned, I have 3 release streams coming up, Friday, Saturday, and this coming Sunday here on GOG. Can't say any more about them, but if all goes as scheduled, you can look out for me there next time.
Very, very cool. Moving right along, our newest member, Screaming Joypad / Mike. Mike, what's up with you next? There's one thing I know that's coming up soon on GOG for you.
Yes, indeed. So the GOGcast. Don't forget the GOGcast is going to be the GOG.com DRM free podcast will be on Thursday at 9 p.m. GMT. You can figure that out in your own time zones. And this week we've got special guests from the Bluebird team. You may remember them from Layers of Fear. They're going to try and talk about some of their DLC that's coming up, which is going to be super exciting. We've also got some special developer guests coming up for the next couple of weeks. I myself personally have got a full pack schedule both this week and next week on my channel, so you can catch me at twitch.tv/screamingjoypad. Yes, that's Screaming Joypad, and also YouTube and Twitter and all that sort of sexy stuff. So yeah, just want to say thank you very much for having me on board.
That was awesome. We're glad to have you on board. Welcome to the team. Last but certainly not least, Pi, when are we going to see you next and what you're going to be doing?
Hi. Hello, everybody. I'm Mega Pie Man PhD. I'm going to be streaming release streams this week. I got one coming up Thursday. If it releases, and if it doesn't release, then maybe I'll do the backup. If the backup releases, we'll have to wait and see about that and see how that goes. And then we got another release stream coming on Friday. So if you're interested in that, definitely stop by. Both are at 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on twitch.tv/GOG.com. Also, if you're interested in watching videos on other things like YouTube, I put up a video recently about a little game called Steam World Heist over on my YouTube channel. That's
Very nice.
youtube.com/MakeupOnManPhD. It's been up for 3 days. It has 27 views. I'm very happy about it. Very
Oh,
very
is that
happy
is that
about
is
how
has
that's
that come
going.
to GOG yet?
No, but dang, I hope it does. Because
No, it should be.
It's.
I'd
don't
love
wanna-
to
I don't
see
wanna-
it come to GOG.
I don't want to spoil the video for you guys at all. But it's
I
a
would
good
love
game.
to see it come to GOG. I'm hanging out for that game majorly.
I hope so.
Awesome, man. Well, it was good stuff as always. Of course, for our next session, we will have Pyron Jade back in the fold, and we'll have our full set. And you're gonna have a lot to explain to her about what's been going on. And that's gonna be the full complement of 5. I should say, since we were talking about this, that on Pen and Pixels next week, I am going to be doing the release of Telltale's Batman, because Pi was extraordinarily kind, even though he had called this game a long time ago when I was being dumb and didn't realize that it was coming out, and is allowing me to do the release stream of it, and that means I'm Batman, which I'm super excited about. So I'm going to be doing just the first chapter. I probably will continue it on my channel at some later date, but I'm not going to do the whole thing, obviously. I'm just going to do the first chapter on Pen and Pixels next week, so I'll be doing that. Then after that, we'll probably have another D&D session in the not-too-distant future, and of course, I'm continuing my Siege of Dragonspear playthrough, which is closing in on being done. So, and I have my own channel in about an hour from now, after I eat, I'm going to be playing some Dark Souls, which should be lots of fun and not a lot of suffering at all. But these guys did a great job, so I'm going to let them go, and then I'll sign off for you. So, Pi, Mike, Saber, and Chrono Wolf, great job, guys. Hope you had fun, and I will catch you guys down the road.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Alrighty, that's going to do it for them, and that's also going to do it for me. Whoop, that's not what I wanted to do. Where are we? No, that's not what I meant to do. It's all going wrong. There we go. So let me get rid of that and turn on that. Yes. So I will be on, as I say, a week from today on GOG, but I'll also be on my channel in about an hour playing some Dark Souls. Also on Thursday on my channel, I'm going to be doing, continuing my voiceover playthrough with my amazing voiceover team, the R Vocalists. They're going to be continuing their playthrough of Aviary Attorney, which will be fun. And then Saturday, it's more D&D with my regular campaign, the Infinity and Beyond crew, on my own channel. So lots of fun coming. Either I'll see you there or I'll see you here. Please follow the channel. Please subscribe to this stream, and please support all of us through our Patreons and various endeavors, because that would be really super awesome. That's it for me. I love you all, and I'll see you guys all very soon on this channel or elsewhere as we continue D&D, games, and other fun times. Until then, thanks a lot, everybody. Everyone be good to each other. Have a good night.